YouTube. Can you guys hear me good? Put a one in the chat if you could hear me well, because we need to make sure we get all this documented. Everything needs to be documented. This is going to be one of the best live streams because it's going to be more than one woman showing up today. So far, we got one in the chat. I had 4 invited. One of them flaked. The other one said that she will get here later. She's still at work, but she will get here later. I can drop the link, but I need to know that you guys are, whoever that's coming up is a woman. What's going on, Rilla? Let's see, we get about 100 people up in here, and then we will bring up our first guest. We want to have them all on here at the same time, but so far we got one in the chat. One in the waiting room. The other one magically is not responding as expected. I went and got a cup of coffee, so that way I don't do no slipping today. He said he's ready for the chaos. Yeah, Uganda boy, he could pull up with his feminine ass, and he ain't gonna show up. Hey, I'm on live right now. I think 32. 32. 75. Damn. All right, come on to the live. All right. So let's go ahead and so like I said, you guys, I have started the second GoFundMe. We now have 2 GoFundMes. One is if you want to fund your boy going around the world making content. I'm gonna go regardless, but the more people fund me, the longer I can stay. The second GoFundMe, we are raising $1 million. Yes, you heard it right. 1 million with an M. To build a gated community for a gated expat community in Brazil. Those will be left right here, but let's go ahead. Let me put this GoFundMe right here. So far, we've already had 13 people, and let me refresh. 13 people donate to the 14 people donate to the GoFundMe. Let me go ahead and drop that link down here, and let's get this show started. Let me take a sip of this coffee first, though. That's real good. Okay, so we have guest number 1. We're waiting on the other ones. Let's go ahead and bring her up. If you know any women, bring them here, and I'll bring them up too. Hello, you are in the chat.
What's up?
How you doing?
This is so weird for me.
Why do you say that?
Because I never do shit like this. I've like streamed on Twitch before, but there's like nobody else that's talking to me, just in the chat.
Well, I want to tell you thank you very much for showing up. We wanted a panel of at least 4 to 5 American women. So far, you're the only one that have showed up. But I'm not surprised. But I told everybody, I was like, I'm 100% sure she's going to show up. Nobody will disrespect you while you're on here. I can't control the comments, but anybody else that comes on here will not.
I'm not even looking at the comments, so fuck it.
Okay. So, how old are you?
26.
You're 26, and where are you from?
Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas. And you are an Asian in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Very unusual.
There's a lot of Asians in Wichita. I wouldn't say anywhere outside of Wichita, but there's a good amount of Asians here. Yeah.
Okay, so you've watched some of my content, right?
Yeah, recently.
What do you think my message is based off what you've seen in my content?
I feel like your message might be a little bit different than some other people that have been on your podcast. For you, I don't know if you've provided an explanation as to why it's working out better for you in the other countries versus America. It just has been. Um, as for other people, I don't know if we're getting into that yet.
Go ahead. No, I'm listening. I want to hear, exactly. But what message do you think I'm trying to give to people?
I guess if you're struggling to date in America, maybe you might find success overseas. I mean, when you initially reached out to me on Instagram, I had no idea this is what you're going to be talking about. Your message was super innocent. It was like, "Hey, I'm just looking for pretty girls to come on my show." And I was like, I wonder what he's going to talk about. And then I didn't really think about it much. And then I watched it, and you were talking about how the people that you invited think of you as misogynistic, like think you're a terrible person. And I'm like, I've never even talked to this dude since I think it was just that one time. So I was like offended a little bit. And then you got mad that I didn't respond right away. And then I listened to it,
No,
and
no,
I
no,
think
no. It wasn't right away. Now this is like a
yeah,
day or two later.
it was, yeah, I know. And then I realized, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to respond. And then I think I was watching it when people were talking about how you were talking about feminism, how you want your um, partner to be more feminine and more submissive. And I think a guy had said that why would he want somebody that, I think it was something like about how he wouldn't possibly want to date a doctor because they want to provide for themselves and they don't have time for you, they don't have time to travel, and they're at like a physical location that they have to work at. And I'm in school right now to be an eye doctor, so I kind of took that offensively. But it just seemed like they wanted somebody who, or a woman that, I don't know, it sounds weird, but like not like the saying I don't need a man, like for me it means like I can provide for myself. But it doesn't seem like the people on your show, like that's what they want. Like they want to be the masculine man to provide for their woman, etc.
And what do you think about men that want to do that want to provide for their women? 100%.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. But why would you not want your woman to be confident in being able to provide for herself as well? Like, what if you guys can provide for each other? Like, isn't that better versus you just providing for the woman and then them receiving? Like, why is it a bad thing that a woman can do that for herself as well?
It's not. So let's we're gonna come back to that. You are single, right?
No. I've been dating for 10 months.
Okay. Now, if a man was to get your number,
Mm-hmm.
how long what how long would you
We're
reckon
saying if I'm single, right?
if you're single, yes.
Yes.
And he wants to set up a date with you. If he met you today and he texts you later on and he wants to set up a date, how long do you think how far out do you think he should set up the date between now and then?
I mean, it depends on the person. Like, it depends how he approaches you, um, how much I know about him. Like, can you discuss like a scenario? Are you coming up to me at a bar, or did you meet me online? Like, what's the situation?
So let's say it's Friday and we're at the mall and I bump into you and I get your number and that was Friday morning and then we've been texting till about 5 p.m. When should he, what day of the week after that? Like how many days after would you recommend that he set up a date?
If the vibes are good and obviously you guys kicked it off, and you have, interest and the conversation's good, I would go that night. I've met a guy at a bar and we've gotten along really well. And then the next day, I invited him to like a volleyball cookout thing at my place.
Okay. So what is your ideal man look like?
What is my ideal man? Physically, if you look at my past, I've had like a variety, I guess. But I will say, taller than me. I'm 5'7". I have dated somebody that is shorter than me. I think it was like high school. But ideally, I would like somebody taller than me and somebody who takes care of themselves. So, sorry, I just saw the comment pick up. So athletic, because I would like to say I'm pretty athletic. I like to play a lot of sports, do a lot of activities. So somebody that can do that with me. I want somebody with a sense of humor, somebody with motivation, who has a job. It doesn't have to be, a high paying job, just to be able to take care of yourself. I think that's
what
about
race?
it. Right now, my boyfriend is half Nigerian, half Irish. Previously, my boyfriend before this, I dated him for 6 years and he was white as shit. And then before that, high school and stuff, I've talked to Mexicans, Cuban. Let's see. I used to date Asians in middle school, but that doesn't really count. But that's about it. This is my second serious boyfriend.
Okay. We got a lot of shit going on in this chat over here. I'm having a hard time paying attention to her.
I'm scared.
So what income does a man need? What's his minimum income that he needs to talk to you?
I'd say 40, 50. Is that too much to ask?
Really?
My ex that I dated for 6 years, he was making around then. 40, 50. And at some points, he wouldn't even have a job.
Wow.
My boyfriend right now, he actually just got promoted. So he's making like 80, 90-ish.
Wow. So you just made history twice. You said 40 or 50. I've never seen that on anybody else's platforms. And you said you would go on a date later that day.
I mean, that's what I've done previously, so.
Okay. When are you planning to get
40 married? 50 is enough. When do I plan to get married? I'm in school right now, so I think I would think about that after I'm out of school and working for a little bit. I'd say probably 30. I know it's later than the usual, but I say 30 as an estimate, but it depends, how I feel then.
How old are you again?
26.
26. And are you Vietnamese? Okay, because some people in the chat have been able to guess that. Okay. So you're a 26-year-old Vietnamese woman. Okay. Do you think it'd be a better deal if I went and got a Vietnamese woman that was 23 from your country, from Vietnam, instead of picking you?
A better deal?
Mm-hmm.
It depends, I guess, on who she is.
On
I don't know how I'm supposed to tell you that. I mean, I have like cousins that are from Vietnam that are around that age that just came to America. I mean, I actually have one that's think she's 23 right now, and she's about to get married. She came over here and found herself a white man. I don't know how to answer that question. Sorry.
So, do you think that the women in Vietnam, as opposed to you were born here, right?
hmm
Okay, so do you think that the women in Vietnam have more substance than the average Vietnamese woman living here?
More substance. I feel like it depends on the person. I mean, I will say they're more mature. Uh, they are more mature. I will say that it's stricter, more traditional. They're forced to be more mature at a young age. And, but I mean, substance, that just depends on the person. Like, I don't know how to answer that. Or why would you say that somebody there would have better qualities than me, or who would be a
Well,
better catch unless you actually met the person?
I've never been to Vietnam, but women that are not from the United States, immigrants, not that you're an immigrant,
hmm
uh, they, whenever we go to their home countries, they seem to be a better deal than the ones that have grown up here or have immigrated here.
In what way?
Mm. So, for example, if you get a Mexican that was born in Texas,
Hmm?
she's gonna be just like any other chick here from Texas. She may have some small, slight differences, but she'll be a city girl as well. Now, if you go to Mexico City to get a Mexican, from my sources that I've heard from, they have said that those women are completely submissive, feminine. They cook for you 3 times a day. Do you see yourself cooking 3 times a day?
I can cook every day. I mean, I will say I got lucky because my boyfriend right now, he likes cooking. So he's been cooking for me. But I just saw him this weekend. Actually, I cooked for him twice.
So
I
what
like
was
cooking. Um,
that's
yeah.
good. So what was the last act of kindness you did for your boyfriend?
I was on the sneakers app and some new shoes dropped. And I was like, do you want these? This was just Sunday or Saturday. And he just said he liked them a lot. So I just bought them, I guess. That was the last thing I did. Yeah.
Okay. There won't be too much arguing going on between us today. It seems. I don't know yet. I got to dig a little deeper. East Coast Kev says you are in the danger zone, honey. You better start looking now. Uh, think like the 1%. Do you know that you're in the danger zone?
I'm aware.
Okay. Mm. Okay. Hey, travel bros. It's no
No, it
saving
feels
you.
like, well, all of my friends are getting married. So
Okay. So yeah, you do need to speed it up if you want to get there. Get your passport and experience the life you deserve. Go where you're appreciated and not tolerated. Appreciate the super chat from both of y'all. So let's get some questions that I might be missing. I still have a list of questions I'm gonna go over here. Because a lot of those were off the top of my head. And do you do wife duties at girlfriend status? Did you hear me?
did you say something? It just
Oh
cut
yeah,
out for a second.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. Your connection is breaking up. Do you?
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Do you do wife duties at girlfriend status?
What is a wife duty? Like, give me an example.
So a wife is inspirational. She inspires her man to be the best. I'm not gonna give you any tips. You tell me what a wife duty is.
I mean, I don't think you necessarily have to be a wife to be doing all that. Like, I think if I'm going to have a relationship with somebody and I'm committed to them, of course, I'm going to do, what I think is good for both of us, good for them. I mean, even with him getting this new job, like, I helped him practice for his interview questions. I sent him like candy, chocolates, I mean, let's see. Wife duties, other than that, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you'd have to ask me because there's a lot of things that I do just like on the regular that um, are just normal for me. So you'd have to kind of clarify, like, ask me if I'm doing these things. I don't know.
Guys, leave a wife duty in the comments and let's see. Let's see. Just give me a wife duty that a lot of American women are refusing to do because they're at girlfriend status. Jay Harley says, as a black woman married to a black man who is raising a black boy, keep up the great work. Our son will go overseas to find his bride. Wow. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Somebody, thank you very much for that super chat. Somebody says, okay, let's talk about that. What is sexual life? What does your husband's sex life look like daily? Describe it. You don't have to go into detail, but tell me.
That part of my life is great. I don't want to say too much, but let's just say it's not boring. And I don't know what you want me to say without being too explicit.
Okay, no.
He's satisfied for sure.
Okay, so somebody says starfish sex most likely. Okay,
He said
so
what?
they said starfish sex most likely. So it's
What the
Saturday.
fuck?
It's Saturday. Y'all are both off. What does his day start like sexually?
Oh, sexually?
Mm-hmm. So what does it
I'm
start and finish like?
My love language is physical touch.
Okay.
So, uh this is so strange. Um it starts right away, I
As
guess.
soon as he wakes up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to hear that. Okay. Would you say that men are over sexualizing women in 2022? Could you hear me? Y'all, am I breaking up or is she breaking up? I think that's her internet. Ah, she froze. Let me take her down and put her back up. Yeah, she just sent me a screenshot. Her stuff is frozen. She said she's gonna turn on her LTE. Once you go Asian, your life is amazing. So we're gonna wait for her to turn on her thing, and she'll be back. You know what, guys? I don't think there's gonna be a. Let me shut this shit down right here. Let me shut this shit down. Laugh my ass off. Auston is trying to be the next Kevin Samuels. No, the fuck I'm not. And I want y'all to quit saying that. Kevin Samuels was not in Colombia. He was not in Brazil. He was not in Thailand. He was in the United States trying to fix you you fractured ass women here. And yeah, I'm not trying to fix y'all. I'm doing this to prove to y'all that you need to. I'm trying to get these women on here so I can show y'all why you need to go. But apparently, with her, we might not get to that point with her. But yeah, I have nothing to do with Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels was a statistic and marriage expert. You don't hear me advocating for no fucking marriage. I don't give a fuck if y'all get married. I'm just want y'all to know where y'all can go if you want to find a girlfriend, a wife, or somewhere just to have a good time. I don't care what you do with these women when you get there. That's not on me. I'm not bringing. If you kick that motherfucker out if you see them. Please. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. It's fine. So, do you think that men over sexualize women in 2022?
A chunk of them do. Some of them don't. I mean, I wouldn't say, I'll never say like all men do this and all men do that. Um, at the
So
club, maybe.
we we work in majorities over here. So, would you say the majority of men are over sexualizing women?
I feel like you're pressing me to say a certain answer, but
No.
I don't have a strong opinion on it. Um, there's there's like creepy guys who do that, and I've seen that as well. I mean, there's a lot of guys that do that.
Are you saying
Also,
most men do that? Most men that you encounter, are they over sexualizing women?
um, if I'm going to like the bar or the club, but not if I'm like just going out somewhere regular, like a restaurant or Walmart.
Okay.
Are you saying like majority of men my age that are trying to like in my dating group? Are you saying just anybody? Like,
No, I'm just saying. So, like, if you somebody said this girl's old enough to go to clubs. Uh, no, I'm just saying like the majority. So, like, I could say the majority of women are online complaining about men. That's something I can say, and we can pretty much prove that by scrolling one time like that on TikTok, and you'll see 30 different women talking shit about men. So, would you say the majority from online or just seeing it out? Would you say the majority of men that you encounter or see are over sexualizing women?
I wouldn't say over sexualizing to the point where it's like uneven, where men are doing it more than women, because I feel like, I mean, we do it too, but not like over the top majority.
Okay. Guys, we're having a hard time with her. She's not we need her to say something stupid. They said you need to get somebody else. She's a green flag. I know, right? We need to get a dummy on here. Uh, let's see. This dude is an idiot, man. I swear. Okay. Does anybody have another woman that could call in?
You're done with me?
No, we're not. We need you to stay right there, but we need somebody that is a little more disagreeable because we need some disagreements. We looking for smoke today. You're not bringing no smoke. Somebody says she's cute and definitely well trained. Yeah, we need to find another woman, y'all. Everybody else flaked. Once again, we invited 5 women and we got one person that fucking showed up. Shit. Get your passport. When I was in Brazil, she was here. She was ready like 15 or 20 minutes early. When I was in Brazil, I mean, whenever I invite the Brazilian chicks, same thing, 15, 20 minutes. But here, I mean, I'm not getting a response. They had already agreed. I checked up with them yesterday, and now I don't hear from them. What the fuck? Back to the negative. We got to get the non-binary raging blue hair feminist. Yeah, to get the non-binary one. Those will have that we'll be arguing about identities if we bring one of them in here. Okay. Who's gonna call? If there are any women watching, call. But I might bring a man in here. See if I missed any questions. Let's get Everybody flaked. I'm trying to, go through. Let me check this chick. I probably get left on red.
I thought you guys were gonna be roasting me.
You said we're gonna be what?
Roasting me. Like no matter what I said, because I was
You got that.
watching the other podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You said what?
No, I said you got that Kevin
The
Samuels. I mean,
other.
not that Kevin. You got that Kansas bandwidth.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you got that backwoods bandwidth. Your connection's bad.
Is it still bad right now? Can you hear me?
It's good. It's good for the moment. Yeah, they won't engage us, but they'll be all on Uganda Boy. They'll be all on his channel. A guy that has no talent, that just sits around and talks shit about every passport, bro. And he can get a panel of 5 or 6 women, and they show up, don't cam up, talk shit. And I don't make this about race. I don't target black women, but the other women I invited were black. And the Asian is the only one that showed up. You can and look, I'm not trying to do this. This is what happened. They think we're making this shit up. These are the results that we're getting. It's that bad.
Are you done with me?
Are you ready to go?
Only if you're done with me. I mean, if you have any more questions, I'll answer them. But I feel like you're out of questions.
Rilla said he wants you to stay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because you're not giving us a disagreement. Let me just ask you some more questions. Brownie, you're back. You should call in. Please help us out. We know you disagree with something. Do you think that DNA tests should be mandatory at birth?
Mandatory?
Yes. By law, every baby that's born has to be tested to make sure the father is the correct father.
I've never really thought about that. I don't think there's any harm in it. If somebody else is paying for it, then sure. I mean, I'm not against it, but
Yeah, we're not
sure.
used to non-combative. We're not used to non-combative. Yeah.
I feel like I'm a reasonable person.
You
Like,
are.
I mean, if I disagree, like, I'll let you know for sure.
Okay. Yeah, somebody said you're too open-minded. So, sorry, guys, she's already taken. This is somebody in the States that you could have got. But I mean, I'm running out of shit to say here. I'm running out of shit to say. Do you have anything you want to tell her?
I mean, there's a lot of guys in the chat who are raging and all that. I get it. These guys are red pill ragers, man. They're going in hard tonight. I get sort of a vibe from you. Let me ask you a question, Chanel. Where do you fall on the spectrum politically?
See, I'm not politically involved. I mean, I've spent a lot of my life just in school. So I haven't taken a lot of time to kind of dive into politics. I'm not really a controversial person. I mean, I have opinions on things, but
I guess we could kind of. There's a few questions I can ask you.
Sure.
Are you pro-life or pro-choice?
Pro-choice.
Okay, pro-choice. Are you religious or not?
No.
No.
My family is Buddhist, so I go like once a year for like New Year's or something, but no,
Okay.
I'm not really that
What
religious.
generation American are you? Or
First.
okay, so you're first generation. Your parents came here.
Hmm?
Okay. What other questions can I ask that kind of give a little clue as to which side you would typically lean on? I'll tell you right now, you're leaning very blue. Not essentially being, pro-life, not being religious. Those are all very,
Good choice.
democratic, values. But you don't seem like someone who would be. What's your perspective on feminism?
If feminism is, just for equality, I'm like, there's extreme feminism and there's, just being equal to men. So I don't have like huge opinions on that. You'd have to ask me because I don't know what, I guess, feminism is.
Have the words "men ain't shit" ever crossed your mind?
No.
No.
I
So
think it's funny, like if
Yeah.
I think it's funny to say if like a guy screws you over and you're trying to get through something and you're like, men ain't shit, but it's not what I
I think
believe. I
that
mean,
tends to take on a mindset, even if you just start uttering it. A lot of women will dive into their own little version of whatever pill rage you want to say. But I get a sense where you're kind of more probably moderate left leaning. And for that reason, especially being Texan and the combination of, being first generation American, you're not going to be controversial. You're not going to be the type who's going to be on here, ranting like certain women do, going off on a tangent about, your feminist ideology or left leaning ideologies, which, is what this channel tends to more be about.
yeah.
We do think, here as Passport Bros, we do believe that all women in general tend to have taken on this mindset of
See, I wasn't aware of that.
Right.
I didn't know that this was a huge issue for you guys until I watched the channel and you guys are talking about majority of women. So I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like,
Right.
at least, like the people that I surround myself with, my friends, my family and stuff, they're just not like that. So I was confused.
Yeah, there's definitely levels to it. I would say, I'm sorry, I'm trying to like adjust my screen here so I can see what's happening in chat and what's going on over here. So but yeah, there's a massive disconnect with a lot of modern women who just have this belief in entitlement to what men are supposed to sort of represent, right? In some ways you represent that as well. You are definitely a modern woman. I'm sure you consider yourself to be strong and independent.
Yeah, I mean, I can be. I wouldn't say that I don't need a man, but I eventually do want one. I mean, if I were to be single until I was 35, I'd be fine too. I mean, I find.
Hey, so we have 2 super chats. First of all, appreciate that $50 super chat. But they say, what is one piece of dating / relationship advice she would give Asian American women based on the notion of increased numbers of Asian American men choosing other races?
Assuming that Asian American women want Asian American men to be with them.
Yeah, what advice would you give to the other Asian women in this country that want Asian men, but there's a trend of Asian men picking outside of their race?
Is that bad? Like for them to date outside of their race?
You gotta disagree or something. Look, what?
Okay, sure. I'll give you something. I guess I will say I haven't dated a lot of Asian men because they do want somebody who's more submissive and sweet and nice. And I feel like I'm not really that. I'm kind of tomboy. I like to play sports, get roughed up. So I guess
But you see, you don't
they
come off as combative. Where let me ask a question: how often do
sure.
you and your guy argue? How many
How
times?
often do we argue?
Yeah, and how many times have you like gotten into like a yelling match in your relationships?
We bicker about stupid shit, but I wouldn't say it ever gets to a point where we're yelling or
So when you say you're not submissive, like
we just
how?
don't have. I'm not
Like
submissive as in
what do you
like
consider being
if
not submissive? Like in which ways are you not submissive?
I mean there's times where we'll have arguments about things and we'll disagree, and I mean I'll definitely state my opinion, he'll state his, and we'll just agree to disagree. Um,
Who
and
gets the final say in your relationship in terms of like the way things are gonna kind of go?
maybe me. I'd say more me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fairly modern. So in that regard, I would say you're probably not submissive,
Yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
let me read these super chats. We'll come back to this. So now that we know you're on to something really. You found something. Uh, so one piece of dating relationship advice you would give. What is one advice that you would give Asian women in this country that want to compete for Asian men?
See, I don't compete for Asian men and I don't date them, so I don't know what they want.
Ah,
So that's
okay.
kind of hard.
Okay. Well, he asked another question, so we'll come back to the next one is his. What are the roles of men and women?
Roles of men and women.
What is the man's role in the relationship?
I will say, I would like to feel safe with my man. Like they, I'm not completely just. I don't wear the pants all the way. I do want to feel like I'm protected, and um, I like to be little spoon sometimes. So
Some
I would say
sometimes.
sometimes.
This
I
is what we consider in this kind of community what we would consider a chameleon, right? Where you're like teetering on this borderline between you are modern but you want traditional sort of things, but it's not in a way that's so off balance where it's like what we would consider off-putting and extremely like go for it. You got something?
Well, that guy, the first question, he said he met African American. What is one piece of advice you would give African American women? Uh, oh, that's because I'm used to seeing black women instead of African
Ah,
American. Yeah. So, what is one piece of advice you would give African American women based on the notion of increased numbers of African American men dating outside of their race?
So you guys are the ones answering that,
So yeah,
right?
no, you. This is about you right now. What advice would you give a black woman since you got a half black man? Because obviously they can't get them. You got one. What would you give a black
What the
woman?
hell?
What?
okay. Before
I
answering
can't
that,
answer that.
before answering that, because I know the pressure you're feeling right now. Uh, how much time you spend on TikTok?
I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok.
All right, or on
I
social.
check it. I check TikTok probably like once a week because my friends send me funny videos, and I've made some videos, but I'm not on that
Or let's
a
say
lot.
social media in general.
I spend a good amount of time on Snapchat, Facebook, because I have a lot of friends and family on there. And
How much content do you come across of black women and their strong and independent ideologies and fuckerisms around black men and what black men should do?
like nothing at all.
Okay, so
Really.
that question is kind of hard to hit on because it's kind of
Yeah.
like she's not even aware of the conversation. Do you know what
Yeah.
what's the name of that podcast, that fucking big ass podcast, Fit podcast, whatever the fuck, Fresh and Fit?
Fresh and Fit.
Have you even heard of them?
No.
So let me rephrase this question then. You have a black man in the United States. If he's 1% black, we call him black. Okay, so he's half black, but we call him black. You have a black man. A lot of black women can't do that anymore. What advice would you give a black woman to get a black man? You got a black man, so you got some sort of answer.
I don't feel like that's my place.
What
to
attracted
answer. I feel like you
what
guys should be
attracted him?
answering that.
What? No, I'm not a woman. What attracted him? What attracted him to you? What made him pick you?
I don't know. I mean,
Hold on.
fuck.
Okay, let's go to the next question then. We'll go
I
back
feel
to
like we're dealing with a side of America that's increasingly rare to find, you know. And that's the big breakdown we're having here. You know, it's one of those ones where it's like you would be who we consider a chameleon, right? A chameleon's a woman who embraces both like modern and traditional like roles, gender roles. And with those women, it could sometimes work, right? But oftentimes with men who are more traditional leaning and men who are looking for roles and relationships that are more traditional tends not to pan out in one way or another at some point in time.
Okay, so when women say they are pro-choice, ask up until delivery date. That was kind of weirdly worded. Makes them think and stops them in their tracks because cliche answers get harder. When women say they are pro-choice, ask, are you pro-choice until delivery date? Do you think a baby that's basically about to be pushed out can still be killed?
No, not for the majority. If it's going to risk the mother's life, then I think that's a conversation between the mother, the father, the doctors. But the abortion that I'm talking about is, within legal means, because I don't think that's.
Y'all need to if you're gonna come on here, y'all need to cam up. Somebody says she looks foreign, but she's hella boring.
You guys,
that was a good one.
In the comments, just aging out.
She's a chameleon. She's a chameleon. She can't answer what attracted her man to her. Yeah, that is. Yeah, you should be able to answer.
I think he's attracted to my looks. We play tennis, pickleball together. We run together. We work out together. We watch the same shows.
So let me give you an example.
Do you want me to sell myself?
No. Let me give you an example. When I went to Brazil, the first time, the chick that I was with that sold me, that I was like, okay, I could marry her. That's because she served me. She was ironing my clothes, washing my clothes. I got sex when I wanted to. There was never a problem with that. She talked to me very sweet, just inspired me, kept me like just super confident, just, boosted the fuck out of my ego. What would your man, if he was running to his mother to tell her about his new girlfriend, what would he be saying? Mom, I got this girl that does blank.
That has a future, that takes care of herself. I think I'm funny. I don't know if you guys think that, but apparently I'm boring. I don't know. I don't know how to talk about myself like that. I feel like if you meet me, I'm a pretty personable person. I get along with a lot of people. I would say I'm caring, nice. I don't know what you want me to say.
He said he watching chick flicks with her. He's beta as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have an Asian here. Now he's gonna call in, and he's a badass. Now he might school you.
Is that Will?
That's Will. That's Will that got on Melanie King's ass.
Well,
we might keep you
I saw
around.
that.
Oh, you seen the video where he got on? Oh, well, you seen them on the last live stream. Okay, so we got somebody else that wants to come in. They have a question for you. You need to be a little more uncooperative.
Okay.
Be yourself.
Yo, so look, I got a question here, bruh. And look, I was working with this one female. This is a little story I got. I was working with this one female,
We need you on
and we
camera,
was
though,
talking
bro.
about relationships and stuff, right? We're talking
We
about
need you on camera.
relationships and stuff. You can hear me?
We need you on camera.
Nah, I'm good on that, but I just want to say this. I just want to say this, man. Look, so this chick I'm talking to, we're talking about relationships and stuff, right? And she says this thing that like basically, I don't want a man, I don't need a man, I want a man. And that's the same jargon that these feminists always promote. That's the same stuff they're always regurgitating all the time. You know what I'm saying? I see this chick. That shit flew straight over your guys' heads, bro. Like right when she said that, it straight flew right over y'all heads. Like that's feminist speak. So she's definitely a
wrong with
liberal.
that?
Here's
That's
the
feminist
thing.
speak.
Here's the thing, right?
We gotta be on camera.
Here's the thing, and here's what I'm going to say about that. Austin, how many times have you heard a foreign woman say she doesn't need a man, but she wants a man? You know what I mean? Because at the same time, you know, from what I've experienced, you know, when I've had these conversations with foreign women as well, is that they say the same exact thing. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're feminists or that they believe in feminist ideologies. But, you know, if you are financially in a place where you can take care of yourself, and all sorts of women are in that place, whether they're conservative leaning, you know, more traditional women or not, you know, there are a lot of women who are in a sense able to take care of themselves, but they're traditional and they still hold traditional values and still want their men to lead. I think you know, if a lot of men want women just to simply not work, that's their prerogative. Like that's great. You know, I personally want to be a provider and a protector and all of that stuff. But I think we need to differentiate there, you know, because there's a lot of black pill ragers that can't differentiate that difference, and we need a little more nuanced view there.
Let me read these super chats, and we're gonna let Doom DeSantos go. I know you call him Doom, that's why I said that. DeSantos, we'll let DeSantos go. Robin Sanders says, "I'm smart, funny, the term is a cliche modern woman answer." Yeah, you didn't really tell us,
Thanks.
but let's see.
I wasn't really prepared for that. I feel like
Oh,
it would be better for him to explain to y'all why he
okay.
chose me, I guess.
Somebody said that was MC8 on camera a minute ago. Okay, she's a modern woman to not be too needy, but traditional enough to not be too controlling or confrontational. I would agree. She's in a good space. There's some women like that overseas too that say they need a man, but they don't need a man for financial means. So let's go ahead and let DeSantos speak.
Oh, I didn't have a lot to say. I was sitting there watching, you know, what she had to say and everything, and I was just like, well, she seems like the type that has her mind right, has her head right, but she also seems like the type that she's not gonna let a man run too much. You know what I'm saying? Like he may try to say, okay, look, you're not wearing that, you're not doing this. She's gonna be like, hold on, I'm gonna do what I want to do because that's how I feel. But she'll do just enough to be like, oh, well, I'm a little submissive, but there's certain things that I'm just not gonna let slide. Like I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do when I want to do it. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, if it makes sense, then, you know, I wouldn't do it. Like, I wouldn't, if he thinks, well, never mind. I don't know. You're right.
Well,
You're right. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like basically, because one of the
Mhm.
big things that I've talked about with guys before is I was married. I'm a 40-year-old man. I was married. My wife at the time, she was very beautiful, curvy. She liked to wear dresses, things like that. I had no problem with whatever she wore, as long as she was with me. I can fight. I don't give a damn what she wear because I can fight. That's how I see it. But
Yeah.
there's times people go out with her girls, and I'm like, hold on, like what you got on, like you're not wearing that. And in her mind, because I said you're not gonna do it, she wanted to go against it because I said it that way.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you'd have said it differently, I shouldn't have to say it differently. I'm letting you know how I feel. So I'm telling you, I don't want you wearing that because I'm not going to be with you. You're going to be with your girls. So that should just be done. But she's going to fight against it because of the way I said it. So if your man tells you when you get ready to go out with your girls and he's like, okay, hey, you're not wearing that, you're going to be like, oh, yes, I am. And you're going to walk out the door.
See, no one's ever said that to me. I think I've dressed pretty, promiscuous, I guess, slutty, if you want to call it. But my men or boyfriends, previous boyfriends, guys I've talked to, they've always complimented me. Nobody's ever said like, damn, you need to change. So I guess I've never dealt with that. I think that it would probably rub me the wrong way, but
is it because of the way they would say it?
Hey, let me read this super chat real quick, and I got something to plug in there. I'll let y'all finish. He said donating for cutting people off who don't listen. Absolutely, that guy said he was good, and I was like, let me see what you're gonna say. No, we're not gonna do that. This woman right here says that's controlling. If you feel like that's controlling, please call in. We need somebody else to call. Not making this about race, but black women are always in the fucking comments, but you won't ever call in. Who else said it? Okay, go ahead.
Do you think that's controlling? If a man if your man tells you, and I'm not saying just because of the way he says it, but because the way we speak is just factual. We're not worried about the feeling of it, of how we speak. We're just telling you how it comes off to us. Like no, you're not walking out the door like that.
What are you scared of? Are you scared of your woman talking to these men looking like that, or are you scared of them coming up to her and approaching her? And do you not trust her to?
It's not about either or. It's about the fact that she needs to respect my wishes, because I don't want my woman walking out like that.
I think that's something you establish early on in the relationship. I mean, with me, I've never had to deal with that, and I probably wouldn't deal with that.
Each their own. Everybody has their own way of doing it, But it's just that a lot of modern women feel that way. Like if a man tells them, like, "Hey, like I just don't feel comfortable with you walking out the door like that." It ain't about because guys are gonna hit them regardless of what you got on. You could be dressed as a damn gun, and they're still gonna hit on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really, and if you want to go holler at a dude, you're gonna go holler at a dude regardless of what your man says.
So why does it matter?
So it's about the respect that y'all have between each other. If you respect your man and his wishes and how he feels, it shouldn't be a problem. That's just how I see it.
I don't know how I feel about that, but to each their own.
She's too agreeable. The fact that you just said
I just think, like, what if you bought a really fucking cute ass outfit and you want to wear it out and you look really good, and then your man says, no, you're not wearing that out. Like, you're only thinking about yourself. Why can't you be like, damn, you look good?
So let me ask you a question. Let's say, and no homo here, I'm sure the fellas don't want to hear it. Let's say your guy is a man who's well endowed, right? This guy he's swinging, right? Okay. Are you going to let that man go out wearing a white beater and sweatpants? Letting it all hang out? You're going to be comfortable with that and him going to where women are going to be?
But this isn't a real scenario. I don't think my man would do that.
Right. But the scenario.
If he's doing it to piss me off, then that's just weird. Like, go out and embarrass yourself. Like, that's not my problem.
I think that's normal attire for a guy. I mean, shit. Even I wear it. But I just think going back to what DeSanto said, it's a respect thing. You know what I mean? I don't get the vibe that you are going to be the type of woman who's going to go out wearing booty shorts or some shit crazy. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if your guy is just comfortable with you presenting yourself to the world a certain way because you represent and are an extension of him, that respect should be honored.
Let me read this super chat. The reason we comment on your dress is because we're trying to protect the relationship. We can't influence other men from approaching you if you dress provocatively. It also acts as a for sale sign. Shit, I can't read. For sale sign. I would agree. My ex, I had to get into with her a couple times on that. They want attention from everybody. They said real or free.
Wait. Yeah.
Okay, so let's let the domestic, whatever the rest of that. What's your name say?
Foreigner.
Oh, the rest. Oh, I see it now. Domestic foreigner. What
You go.
question did you have for her?
Well, my question is pretty much: have you ever traveled and been anywhere outside the United States?
No, well, just Canada, and then I think I went to the Bahamas for a cruise when I was a child, and then I went to Vietnam when I was 1. So no.
Okay. Because I think you would understand the gentleman better if, in fact, you had traveled and saw the difference.
Maybe.
Like at this point, you have nothing to compare it to. Nothing against you or no disrespect, but you have absolutely nothing to compare it to. And if your world just consists of the U.S., then how much can you comment on the experiences of people who've been outside the country?
Yeah, I mean,
London
values
Lynn.
are
If you're
different.
gonna talk shit in the comments, call in.
So that was pretty much my
Yeah.
question.
I mean, I would agree. It's a lot different here. We're much more free to do what we want.
Well, I mean,
wear
again,
what we
you couldn't say that either because you haven't been anywhere. Not to be
Well, I
argumentative.
mean, I'm saying
in comparison
as
to
to
where.
what you were saying, like, well, I mean, I have family that are traditional and stuff. Like they don't wear the same shit that I
It's
do.
a little bit different
so.
when you're in a country with a completely different culture. Like right
Mhm.
now, I'm outside and I didn't expect to get on, so I ordered a meal. But I live in a Brazilian neighborhood. I'm at a Brazilian restaurant now, and my neighborhood, it's like a bubble. It's a completely different entity as opposed to the rest of Newark, New Jersey. Okay, so when I'm here, Brazilians behave like Brazilians, Portuguese behave like Portuguese. And it's like you're in a different country. So for me, it's a sort of a comfort, and it feels like I'm not in the States because I don't feel as though I fit in anymore here because I've lived so long outside the country that I don't feel normal. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the cultural norms. But I can only say that because I've lived on both sides of the track. If you know what I mean. I lived abroad for a long time, and now I live here. But it's, yeah. So what can you say? You know, but that was my question, and I stand back.
We got the fraud. We got the fraud in the
Oh,
chat.
he's on here. All right.
Yeah, tell
Hey,
him.
yo, pedal man, get on, bro. You
Come
talk,
on, bro.
bro.
Peso man, let's go.
Yeah, if you're not gonna go, bro, come on.
Nobody
What's
on
up,
this
Damon Lavelle?
Nobody on the
Make me
panel fucks with
mad.
you, Peso man.
What's
You know
up,
that,
Damon
right?
Lavelle?
Pedal man, jump on.
Let's get the art of Will. Go ahead and Go ahead and grill her for a second.
No, here's the thing. This is one of the most difficult things about being on this stream. Sometimes I'm not always going to be able to give the chat what they want. However, I will ask, some questions. So I'm a little bit behind, so I need to kind of catch up. So I just want to make sure whatever question I ask, it hasn't already been asked as I drove to my place. You have guy friends, right, Chanel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How does your current boyfriend feel about that?
He's fine with it because he's met all of them. And a lot of my guy friends are friends that I've had since 6th grade. And I've had the same group of friends for a long time. I mean, if I have he knows everybody that is in my life, I guess. So everything's out in the open. Like, I do have a lot of guy friends, I will say.
Let me stop you real quick, and let me say this to this Queen Red Asian, the rest of these fraud ass motherfuckers in the chat. Melanie King sent us here. She is live. Auston, you full of BS. Let me tell you something. If y'all do not call, y'all leave stupid comments. I'll give you 5 minutes, and I'm blocking your ass for not calling in.
Well, Queen Redbone
And-
Queen Redbone needs to drop the Asia from her name.
Yeah, exactly. And Peso man, you are in the chat still. I'm about to block your ass next.
Hey,
Maybe-
he literally said that he will clown you, and I'm like, so you're just gonna talk shit? You're not gonna give an argument. You're not gonna actually have a conversation. You're just gonna get on there and talk a bunch of shit.
Well, I would
That's
like
all they're
to see him clown me.
But I'm saying, like, it's just him making up stuff so he can talk shit so he can get attention. Instead of actually having a grown conversation, like a grown man, have a
Exactly.
conversation instead of just running your mouth, saying, making up shit so you can get the shock factor out of people. Instead of just talking like a grown man. Obviously you can't, so that's why you sit there behind that, talk shit, cry and whine, make videos about dude. I swear to God, you're in love with it. I know you are. You are straight up in love with
man.
you. All the mess that you talk, you don't actually sit down and have a conversation. You could be a grown man and y'all can talk without talking shit. Just have a regular conversation like two adults. But instead, you'd rather just talk shit and stay behind the computer and disappear.
Right, exactly.
all you
The guy sits there. He wants you to come on to his. We're talking
He
about
just said
Pencil
that.
Man, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
of course.
wants us
Yeah,
to go to his. We're not going to his channel. He's trying to get fame.
He wants his safe space. He wants his channel to blow up. He's attention seeking. It's all feminine energy.
Yeah. See through you says I've been to Aruba and all these other countries. So what's your point, sir? I travel to relax, not for men. That's probably because you don't have options when you go there anyway. But now, if you travel to relax, but just so happen to meet your girl.
I want to address this one. Can you keep this one up?
Yeah. Let's
okay. So this is code speak for having a hot girl summer and to ride the carousel.
Yeah, she getting ran through.
She getting ran through. I'm gonna take CGA's quote and say she's getting ran through more times in the Holland Tunnel.
How you doing, guys?
We got a Queso Wavy in the private chat. They're talking a lot of shit and they're not even on cam. Get on cam or shut the fuck up.
I do have another question to ask Chanel. So back on your male friends,
yeah,
would it be safe to say that you have more male friends than female friends?
No.
Okay.
I have a lot of girlfriends.
What's up?
She's married. She's getting ran through on the side.
You have a lot of female friends.
Yeah,
I think he's talking about C3.
Okay.
By the way.
Yeah.
So one of the ways, like if I were to meet a future wife and stuff, with my last ex-girlfriend, one of the questions that I asked in vetting is that whenever you and your current boyfriend, when you guys get into a fight, who's the first person you go see?
My cousin. And my brother's girlfriend is actually my best friend. So yeah, those are the two people that I'm always talking to.
And you say your cousin?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is relevant to what I'm going to ask. Your cousin is single or taken? And this is not me shooting my shot, but just my next answer.
She's taken. No. She's
taken. Okay, good.
Soon. Yeah.
If you said she was single, I would have came back with that's not a good thing because single people make the best. They make the best recruiters.
Listen,
I know.
It's going to be hard with the first generation ones, man. I really don't think we're going to squeak much out here, honestly.
No. I get it. No. I'm not done yet. I'm not done. Okay, so who takes the lead in the relationship?
Who takes the lead?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's probably me more. To be honest, yeah.
So, really, you take the lead. So
I feel.
Why?
I just feel like if we get into an argument, we'll see. I'd have to explain the whole situation. It's hard to say. I just feel like
I'm kicking this motherfucker out. Sorry, go ahead.
you're gonna have to give me some time to think about
Okay.
how I'm
How
trying to
about
phrase this.
how about I ask you a
Get to-
question
yeah.
that's kind of like a yes or no, if that helps.
Yeah.
That helps better.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you feel that you take the lead because your current boyfriend is passive?
Real
He is
quick,
passive.
before we do that, I want to give a
Yeah.
message. I want to give a message to the mods. Hey, mods, if you see a woman speaking, talking shit in the comments, we're gonna invite her once. If she doesn't get on the call and she doesn't hop on the call within 5 minutes of that invite, then ban her. We're not here to have trolls in the comments. You know, either you get on the call and express yourself, and if you do, we'll respect you for it, and you can stay the remainder of the call. But don't be sitting there in the comments talking nonsense if you're not going to get on the call and express yourself. At least have enough balls, since y'all so masculine enough to talk crap in the comment section. Have enough balls to show face.
Yeah.
Same thing
Nobody's
with the
gonna hurt
dudes
you.
too, though. Like there's like a couple guys in there as well, just simping probably. But
Yeah, it's interesting. Also for the fellas as well. Let's do the same. If
They
if we got the simps in here, if they're going to be talking crap, you got 5 minutes to cam up, because we're not trying to just have people who agree on the show. We're trying to get the other people on the panel as well.
They said, is she BBC inclined because most brothers like their women dressing sexy.
Okay. Okay. So okay. So you say you take more of the lead. So
He is
and
more
then,
passive. Yes.
So he is passive.
Yeah, I've talked to guys that are more aggressive and will. I think I do well with guys who are more maybe passive.
And why is that?
I would think so.
You're getting blocked.
Well, this relationship and my past relationship, they're both passive. Other guys that I've talked to before, were both like type A.
You did say that on YouTube.
I'm trying to be politically correct, Victor.
He is passive. I mean, he's not as argumentative, I would say.
so do you see passive as a good thing?
It depends, because I will say some people are passive and then they hold it all in and then it comes out later at bad times. But I think if there's a good mix, I think I would prefer somebody to let me win. But I know, like, if I feel like I'm wrong in a situation, then yeah, I'll apologize. It's I'm not afraid to like say that I'm wrong. I mean,
Peso man, get on camera.
Are you always competitive with your current boyfriend?
competitive in what terms? Like with what?
Just in anything.
Like trying to argue with everything, or
that, or
stay on camera.
if I feel strongly about it, then yeah. But if it's like little shit, then I mean, I like to have a conversation and discuss things, but I won't ever have to be like, oh, I'm right. I like to hear, like his side of things.
Okay. Hear his side of things. Okay. Now, in terms of finances, I know I heard what the number was that you expect your partner to make, and I think you even said that there were times where he didn't have a job. When you finish college and you become an eye doctor and you start to make six-figure, what is your expectation of your partner at that point?
Nothing more than now. I mean, I feel like I can do whatever I need for myself. I can provide for myself. I don't think it would be any different than it is now.
So you're, go ahead.
If we have a house together, I will, I'd be willing to pay whatever I can afford. I mean, if I'm making this much and he's not making so much, then I feel like it'd be fair. Like, I wouldn't make him pay as much as I did, but he's going to be making around the same amount, so it would just be even if we're talking about the boyfriend that I have now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so if he makes about same as fair, because but I'm saying if he makes less than you.
Oh, if he makes less than me?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want him. I'm not going to make him pay the same amount as me if I have more money. I mean,
what do you mean pay the same amount?
As in, like, if I want a really nice house and he's, making half as much as I do, then I would be willing to put more of my money into it and not him try to split even.
Okay. I don't know if I heard this before as I was on my way home. What is your opinion on the family and marriage courts? What's your opinion on that?
Can you elaborate?
So let's say you and your boyfriend end up having a child.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion on the court system in terms of the male-female dynamic?
See, I'm not like very well versed in what's currently going on right now, and I haven't really like looked into it. You kind of have to ask me like what my opinion is on like.
Okay, so do you think that child support should exceed the income that you currently make? Do you think your child support should be like set it up to where you don't have to work another day in your life, kind of a thing?
No, I mean, I feel like it should be fair. I don't think that's fair what you just said.
But you know what happens though, right? It happens to people where, especially based on income. I can even give one example. I'll even give an example of Halle Berry. She actually fought to lower her child support payments. At the time, she was paying around $16,000 a month, and she called that oppression or something. So she managed to get it lowered to $8,000 a month. I just wanted to know what's your opinion on that, and what's your opinion on like no fault divorce?
No fault divorce. Sorry, I feel stupid because I'm not.
No. I'll help you. I'll help you on this.
Hey, we'll hold that thought real quick. Let me read these super chats and let you finish.
Sure.
Guys, look, I've banned like fucking 15 people since y'all been talking. Teddy Fresh says her dude is a C word that rhymes with duck. Modern women don't want to be led; they want to be a partner and or 50-50 dynamic. We've had the Peso Man join on like 6 different accounts in the past 7 minutes, dude.
Damn.
Well, you can tell Damon and Donald Webb, Damon Lavelle and Donald Webb, that they can go be pedophiles in another channel.
Yep.
I don't know, Will, are you getting this like unicorn vibe here? Because it's kind of like, she's explaining herself in a way where it's like, you get the vibe of Chameleon, right? Where it's kind of like, okay, Western beliefs, all of that kind of stuff, but to an extent where it's kind of like, well, at least she's not delusional and is willing to tolerate certain dynamics in the relationship, but for the long term, knowing sexual dynamics between men and women, it's kind of like you just know in your mind, or we kind of instinctively as men know in our minds that in the long term that's just not going to work out.
So the vibe that I'm getting, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or anything on this, but what I get with my interaction with Chanel is that I'm getting a lot of social construct answers where it's not really based on reality. It's just based on if it exists, it exists. I feel like it's more on the plausible, or more on the the plausible, as opposed to the as opposed to the probable. I feel like it's more on the plausible as opposed to the probable. I'm not going to like say anything out of pocket, you know, because she hasn't really given me a reason for me to like, you know, go and say something messed up towards her. Sorry about that, chat. It just, you know, I can't always give you guys,
That's
you know, tell you guys
kind of
what you want to hear.
that's
you
where
know.
I'm at too, and it's kind of she makes it difficult.
I got something to say
You're
about
making
it.
it very
think-
difficult.
The thing is, I'm not chomping at the bit. I don't chomp at the bit to come at people. I went after Melanie King because Melanie King just gave me funny vibes, and the thing is, I actually wanted to set her soft girl programming back to factory settings. That was my goal, and I achieved my goal on that part. I know Mr. Simonis, I don't know how to say. I know you had your hand up, and I don't want to monopolize this panel, so I know you had something to say.
Yeah, I just want to actually know. So I heard you describe your man. You said he's very passive. Do you think he would appreciate you saying that on a YouTube channel if he were to be watching this? Is he watching this?
Is that a bad
Well,
thing?
but
Like, if
here's the
you,
question. Here's
I'm
the
not
question.
dogging on him. Like, that's just, he knows he's like that. He's admitted that. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to say, like, oh, I'm saying it on YouTube
'Cause he
like,
may-
for everybody to hear. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Because he may interpret that as you somewhat, kind of embarrassing him. Do you think that that's possible?
With knowing him, I don't think he would be offended by that.
No.
If you are the month.
I don't believe in
then you
anything
are.
as
I
being
would-
an unfair question, but at the same time, I got to acknowledge that we're inviting her and putting her on the channel, right? So it's kind of like this quasi fucked up thing to kind of be like, well, we're gonna ask these questions, and then when she answers them truthfully, we're just gonna say you're embarrassing your man. So I mean, what else is she supposed to do? Not answer them and like,
He is more on the passive side.
let's get
I'm not
the
saying, yeah.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
come at her. Like, if she's honest about it, don't like grill her for it.
face-
Now this dude is on because he's got that avatar.
Oh man, just get on your camera, bro.
Real quick question before Mr. Lavelle has his say. So in terms of like this current dynamic between male and female society, should we believe women for just any kind of grievance that they have in public? Should they be believed? Should we believe them?
Not always. I mean, sorry.
Are you so in terms of facts and
I'm
feelings? Okay, what's up?
I'm very situational. It depends on the person. It depends on what they say, like their experiences, like what you've experienced with them in the past. I can't say anything for just like a catch-all, like everybody.
Okay. So I'll break it down, make it a little bit easier. Is staring considered SA? Is it considered the S harassment just to stare?
Depends how you're staring. Like I think you can tell if somebody's just staring to like say like, oh, who's over there, or staring to fucking look you up and down. And
That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
I think
What about
weird.
man's? I'm sorry. I'll let
Here's the thing. I honestly, I feel like we're not going to get anywhere with her. And that's not.
I will say.
That's not a disrespectful thing. That's
let me ask one more.
It's hard.
No, I'm not trying to get her any. I'm not trying to get her in any gotcha moments. I'm just trying to get information to where the chat can see both sides, especially when you got haters that want to take clips and try to roast him. I'm not one of those people that look for that are looking to get gotcha moments. I just really want to get information. So what about like man spreading? Do you think that, if I were to man spread, does that mean I advocate grape culture? If I sit with my legs spread in a subway.
I sit with my legs open.
Okay.
Sometimes, like, no.
So I don't. So if I do that, I don't deserve to be maced. Okay.
Have you been maced because of that? What are you supposed to do?
No, I
Cross
have
your
not been
legs?
maced. I've been kicked, but I haven't been maced.
I
May
will
I
say
ask
it's hard to answer your questions because I haven't been in a lot of those situations. So when you ask me about like child support, like I haven't had to deal with that, so I don't have a real opinion on it. Or like I feel like it'd be different if I had to deal with that. I would be able to give you a more genuine answer.
All right, let's jump in real quick.
Yeah, let me stop you real quick. Peso man, if you're not gonna cam up, I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. We're gonna kick you out permanently for the 5th time.
You know, you do a lot of shit talking for a guy who considers himself a man. You can't even cam up because you're so goddamn insecure, bro. You sitting here calling me a faggot and all these things, but you can't even look me in the face and do it. Like how much of a great a bitch do you have to be? Come on, bro.
Yeah, take off your mic at the least.
Man, all he's been doing is just talking mess in the chat. I asked him, I'm like, can you say anything other than name calling?
Oh, then he logged out.
Anything else?
Got a clown outlet right here too.
But what I'm saying is all the shit talking is just them saying shit, talking, calling people names. There's no argument. There's no conversation. There's nothing they don't want to say anything besides calling your names. They don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, I'm cool with not entertaining that guy or even saying his name.
It's just children. Like they don't have anything else of substance to say.
Like I really wish he would call in because I really do want to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Of all people, like I feel like that conversation would be great. But you know, I don't feel like he's got the fucking chutzpah, the balls to even.
I got one more question for Chanel. What is your take on victim blaming? We hear that a lot, that we tend to victim blame women. What is your take on it?
What is my take on it? I mean, there's like it happens, and then sometimes it's valid. I mean, again, it just depends on the situation. Like I feel.
Okay. Yeah. So, what makes the victim blaming valid?
Like, as in, like, oh, that person's being a victim?
No. Like when we give an opinion on something where it's like, she shouldn't have done this, or she shouldn't have worn this. Maybe this would not have happened, or those kind of things. And right away, they'd be like, oh, you're victim blaming. That means you support this and that. That means you support grape culture. You support toxic masculinity. You support misogyny. Yeah. Like, what is your opinion on the victim blaming narrative?
I think it's wrong if you don't know the situation and you aren't in that person's shoes. Like, sorry, these questions are really hard, but okay. It's situational. I mean, I don't think it's fair for you to just, call somebody out like that, not knowing what they've been through. I feel like you'd have to scope the whole situation before you can make an assumption like that.
May I ask a couple easy questions real quick?
I feel dumb.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So, do you think American women are more loyal or just as loyal as foreign women?
I will say with foreign women, as in like the women that I know, like in my family, the Vietnamese women that come over from Vietnam, I feel like they probably are more loyal. It's pretty common. Hold on.
Can I cut in on I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My mom's calling me.
I wanted to address some people in this chat that are saying, I can't believe people are looking up to a 23-year. Here's the thing. Auston is not the sole resource of this group. We also have Rilla, who has the experience. He's older than Auston. He brings wisdom, and then we also have Andre, who also brings wisdom and even business connections and other types of resources as well. So it's not just everyone is. We're not seeing Auston as a DT of this group. So we have like a team of people who bring value into this. So it's not just we're all looking up to a 23-year-old.
I just want to say I agree with everything that you guys are basically saying. I did have a couple of questions though. I wanted to know, Chanel, I wanted to know, like, do you respect your boyfriend or your partner?
Oh, well, I think. Go ahead, Chanel. She froze.
Oh, I would say like true.
Am I still frozen?
You're back. It's just a little laggy right now.
Yeah, I was saying. Is she still frozen?
Let's give her a sec to go ahead, Chanel, reset and come back.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna jump in real quick to the chat, to the mods. Make sure you guys are sharing the make sure you're sharing the Facebook group, the Discord, all of that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get the links out. Auston, you got some super chats there?
Yep. Theodore Anderson says, would like to know where everyone on the panel has traveled to and where they recommend. I've mainly spent time in South America, mainly Peru. Let's read the next one. We'll come back to that first one. Her boyfriend is a conscious simp. Much respect to Auston in the panel. Glad to see Passport Bros becoming a force to be reckoned with in the manosphere. Appreciate those super chats from everybody. I've been to Colombia and Brazil, soon to be Thailand. Everybody else want to share where they've been to?
Yeah, I've been to Dominican Republic, Germany, Istanbul, Kyrgyzstan, Colombia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Canada.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I've been to Frankfurt, Germany for a day when I was deploying to Qatar, but I haven't traveled yet. I'll be traveling. I just got my passport. Gonna be getting out there soon. Will?
Me? Okay. Let's see. I'll start closer than far. Okay. Mexico, Canada, Hawaii, but although that's still U.S. Let's see what else now closer. The big three in Europe: England, France, Italy, Thailand, China, Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, and Macau.
I've been
to my time. After you, sir.
I've been to Barbados, Trinidad, Tortola, St. Thomas, and the DR.
Ooh.
Okay. Am I on next with that? I've been to Germany, the Netherlands, Switzerland, England, Lebanon, Qatar, Kuwait, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and that's about it, as much as I can remember.
Don Levon says, ask her would she like her boyfriend to go out with his female friends without her?
Oh.
So my boyfriend right now doesn't have any female friends. My previous boyfriend didn't either. But I have talked to men who have female friends, and I don't care. I mean,
so your guy, would you consider your guy, like, do you think he has any sort of like player appeal whatsoever, or other women who are attracted to him?
You said, sorry, you cut out. What'd you say?
I was asking, does your guy have any sort of player appeal, or like anything that you would say that like other women pay attention to him that he's attractive to other women?
No, he's not like that. I have talked to men who are like that.
Do you
But
think
no,
that
he
other
doesn't
women,
put himself out.
do
You
you
said
think
what?
that other women want your man?
He doesn't put himself out there.
Gotcha.
So
You didn't answer the question, ma'am. You did not you did not answer the question. So,
if we're out,
sir, whoever
then
asked that
yeah.
question, please ask that a question again. This is a yes or no question. Yes or no.
Do
you
other
feel-
women want my man?
Yeah.
I feel like
Do
he's
you
attractive.
feel that other women want?
I
Do
Do
feel
you
I
feel that? Yes or no?
I mean, I feel like if we go out, I think maybe other people would think he's
Ma'am,
attractive.
this is a yes
but
or no question. Ma'am,
Not
don't talk
really.
in circles. This is a yes or no question. Yes or no.
What is your point of asking
I'm gonna put the
that?
pressure on you.
she doesn't fear losing him. So
I'm just kind of curious, like
It's
because from what I'm feeling
The
here, I'm
point
just
of it
curious,
was,
what
do
would
you
be-
feel threatened or not?
Yeah.
Sorry about
no,
that, sir.
I
Sorry
mean,
about that, Rilla.
I don't feel threatened.
Okay, so the answer is no.
That's interesting.
I don't feel threatened. But
Ma'am, you could have led with that. You could have led with that instead of talking
that's
circles.
not the same
These
question.
men,
Nah,
these
you
men,
raised the pin.
ma'am, these men asked you. These men asked you a yes or no question, and you talked in circles.
Okay.
One moment, coach.
I'm not going to let you.
One moment, coach.
Okay.
One moment, coach. Let's not, we don't need to attack. We'll get the answer, but we don't need to attack anybody.
From one veteran to another, man, I'm putting my stripes on.
I hear you.
I'm retired Army, so the mindset is still there's a black and a white, no gray. She was trying to hang out in gray, and I wasn't letting her.
There is
That's
a
all.
lot of gray, but I think that's what we're always going to get out of a moderate. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I want to bring up to the chat, right? Go ahead and remove Victor from the chat. One of the mods. We're not going to deal with fucking haters. Bro, if I'm soft, just come see me in Connecticut.
Roger.
We'll handle that then. But beyond that, right?
Hey, really, if I may, I want to say the art of will. Kudos for going after for Melanie, because your point about whether or not she attended Brother Samuel's funeral was spot on, and you triggered her. She you have my respect behind that. She was starting to her colors were starting to show. So I wanted to thank you for stepping forward with that. If I may, the countries I've lived in. So I've lived in 2 countries. I spent 5 years in Germany, 4 years in South Korea. The country visited in between those places. When I was in Germany, I'd taken 2 trips to Italy. One to Genoa City. The other is to Naples. I've been to Belgium. I've been to Croatia, and I've been to France. During my deployment, I spent 4 days in Qatar. It's not Qatar, brother. It's called Qatar. sorry to correct you, real. From there,
we say it both ways, but coach, 1 second there. All right. So chat, understand when we invite people onto the panel here, we're gonna have people from all different backgrounds and different beliefs. The type of people we tend to come at, right, are the women who tend to be super left-leaning, super hard liberals. They just have that very hard left perspective on everything in life. I'm sensing here Chanel is very centered. She is very moderate. So there's always going to be nuance. America, by and large, used to be very nuanced. I don't know what's happened over the last half decade, but we steered so far away from that. I actually think it's a breath of fresh air to be a little more nuanced, because when we were a little more nuanced, we had the ability to have conversations. Now we seem to be in this
without somebody getting offended.
where it's very hard left versus very hard right. And if you're not, and we have this perspective and this attitude, if you're not on either side of the spectrum, then being in the center is wrong. And in reality, being in the center is where the balance is. You know what I mean? I don't think the perspective should be hard right or hard left. So, you know, if we're gonna have nuanced conversations, I think the perspective there is to dig a little deeper and not to push towards hard left or hard right perspectives, but understand the nuance and where the person lies in terms of their argument. So let's keep the conversation going, but let's keep that perspective in mind.
Let me read this these super chats really quick, and we'll continue the conversation. G Max says, "Who's this D Cat? I like him already. Cuts through the BS. What's your Cash App player? You could drop your Cash App.
Sorry, brother, I don't have a Cash App, man. I don't run a
You gotta get
YouTube
the
channel.
Cash App.
But I've been following the manosphere since 2015. You know, shout out to the late Charles Tyler. Shout out to my brother Al Grease. Hey, this is why we're here. Now, before Frustrated even came out, my reason I ended up in Germany during my years in the military was because of the dating experiences I had here in the United States. Unfortunately, as a collective, American women are spoiled rotten, and it's getting worse. And it's always the same narrative. These gals chase after the bad boys, and after the bad boys run through them like a hot knife through butter, then the fellas that they ghosted, that they pushed to the side and so forth, are expected to step in and pick up the pieces. Well, those fellas that you ghosted and expected to come in and pick up the pieces are pushing back and saying no. Now, when I first saw the Frustrated film, it felt like it spoke directly to me. Now, I've never set foot in South America, except for Mexico, but it spoke to my experiences overseas, and I saw something very, very different. I'll use Germany as a perfect example. African American women could only shake their heads at the women in Germany because these women were carrying themselves in a way that African American women used to. They stopped doing that at around the 1970s. And it just potentially got worse. But instead of looking themselves in the mirror, they want to point the finger at everyone else. That's one of the reasons why I'm on this panel. I have my experiences. I also have knowledge, and I also have wisdom. Young lady, the reason that I zeroed in on you is because when these gentlemen asked you straightforward questions, you talked in circles, and I found it quite annoying. If we're having an open and honest dialogue and these gentlemen ask you a straightforward yes or no question, please respond with yes or no. These guys aren't going to shoot at you or look at you any differently if you said yes or no, or if you're not certain, I don't know. That is direct communication. All right.
It's
This is
just
not
always yes
this is
or
not
no
a
to
swipe
me.
at you.
So
Let me
You have to in dating, it has to be.
let me finish these super chats real quick, and we'll continue that because I want to hear the rest of that. The studio is open. I kicked some people out that won't come out. The answer is no. He's their retirement package. I think they meant to say there. Thanks, Will. Melanie really showed us what a chameleon is. Was surprised she got triggered. It's over for American women. Lost interest at 15. Now it's worse. I think that Melanie's talking shit about me right now, too, from reading the chat. Supporting, sharing the wealth. What I said before, so it gets noticed. Auston is doing what we are too lazy to do. I saw that, as watchers, aka start a community. You have to spend our most. You have to spend our most valuable commodity to make it all happen. Time.
Yes,
If
sir.
he had a player appeal, he wouldn't be her boyfriend.
Hey,
I learned from the Dennis Jean Pierre and Yes Brazil, both from Greed Street. Respect, bro, Coach D. She is definitely in the middle with her answers, even though her boyfriend is a lesbian.
real quick, damn.
Ouch. Smoke's coming.
Look, real quick. If you're coming over from 1 second, guys. If you're coming over from Melanie King's stream, let us know if she was saying something, and give us a time mark so we can look back and kind of go through that.
Yeah. So let's.
I think I want some top.
Just go ahead and finish, Coach D.
Thanks. Young lady, in terms of the other question regarding sexual harassment and sexual assault. Okay, first and foremost, gentlemen, I'm going to ask all of you. Since when did eyes grow? Since when did our eyeballs grow arms, hands, and fingertips? Anyone? So someone explain to me how on earth, because we ain't living in the age of Star Wars. There's no Jedi on this council, last I checked. So someone explain to me how is it that someone can undress someone by looking at them? Someone explain that to me. And while we're at it, how is saying hello, just something simple as shooting my shot and saying hello, how on earth does that warrant me harassing you? If neither one of us know each other from a can of paint and I offer you the greeting of the day and maybe a compliment, how on earth am I attacking you? Explain that. Anyone?
I don't
Young
think
lady,
anybody
this was
agrees with that, and that question was asked in a hypothetical manner. You know, and I think that there are female content creators that have put out stupid opinions who are hard left-leaning liberals that we really disagree with. But I think the question was posed to Chanel, so I'm more interested in hearing her perspective there again and what it was
Chanel,
previously.
before you respond, really, do you remember the SHARP training that we had in the Army? Sexual harassment and rape prevention training?
Right.
How it is always pointing the finger at men. It never held women accountable. What we're seeing on the outside of that with the Me Too movement is the exact same thing. Men are always at fault no matter what happens. And this is why I'm asking this question.
Okay.
Coach D.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything wrong with going up to women and saying, "Can you hear me?"
The world is trying to emasculate men.
I know. You are preaching to the choir on that, brother. I caught on to that about 2 decades ago.
And literally what it is that it's like the shift and the change in power is more so tended towards the woman now. And now with this whole feminist movement, it's like women don't need they don't need
the third
to
wave of feminism.
Yeah, they don't need to care about us men here in the US. They don't need to care about us. You know, they could just be for them, or it's like whatever they want. Women just like to be put on an emotional roller coaster. So that's why they go for, I guess, the so-called Pookies and Ray Rays. They like to get slapped upside their head. And it's really like it's honestly true. I'm not gonna lie, like Chanel seems like a nice female. But when it comes down to it, I feel like she has more say than her man. And that's a fact. That's how I feel. And I just feel like that's the reason why I feel like she doesn't really care, like if he leaves or anything like that, because she already knows like she could go out dress however she wants. Because I'm not gonna lie, like first of all, my woman can't have no guy friends, and that's like that's supposed to be laid down from like when we first start talking, like out of nowhere, like a shoulder to cry on is a dick to bounce on. You feel me? And that's literally how I feel about like when females have male friends.
We got a Me Too in the
It
comments.
always leads to it. Now, I will say this.
One moment there, Coach. What was that, Austin?
So we got a Me Too right here in the comments trying to start false accusations.
Jennifer, go ahead and jump on the call. You got 5 minutes. If not, you'll be kicked out. We want to hear your perspective.
What is she trying to do?
I'm gonna call
make
BS on Me Too.
Yo, what the? Wait, what? Yo, you can't even, bro. He's looking at the camera, bro.
Yeah, how would she know who he's looking at?
What the fuck?
Yeah. But that's
this
a country.
This is what we were just talking about. This is what we were just talking about. Coach D just said the same thing just now. Like, how?
All right. But let's be real. Don't feed into it because at the same time that might be a troll. So
don't
come on.
Yeah, don't believe everything about that. Don't believe everything what you just see because people are trying to make allegations and trying to make up lies. Don't believe that.
Well, this is why I never believe all women. I will never, ever. Just because you said something happened, no, I'm not going to just jump to conclusions. Now, the only exception to that rule, of course, is my wife. But aside from that, nah, bump that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, they're trying to
because
make excuses.
here's the issue. During my years in the military, and Rilla can attest to this, the rates of claims of sexual misconduct, be it sexual harassment or actual sexual assault, is through the roof. And the military has done an outstanding job of keeping a lid on it. The problem is the rates of false accusations. So in this case, what'll happen is a female service member, if she has a leader or if she has a unit she's not happy in, her one option that will cause more problems than anything else, what she has to do is file what is called a SHARP. The acronym SHARP stands for Sexual Harassment and Rape Prevention. She has to file one of those claims against a leader. A senior leader could be the first sergeant, could be the company commander, her squad leader, her first sergeant, and without question, they are mandated to investigate it. Whether it's founded or unfounded, she gets moved to another unit to put some distance between her and the person she's accusing of said misconduct. From there, that person that is being accused has to fight tooth and nail to prove his innocence. And by that time, his career is ruined. He's ruined. He's booted out of the military because right now the Army has zero tolerance policy for this kind of issue. And what is happening is a lot of male leaders are not allowing themselves to be anywhere alone with a female service member. So in this case, if they are in a room, most leaders will have at least 2 or 3 witnesses with them. So
the thing with that,
if she tries to pull that,
I'm going to jump in right there. The thing with that also is that it doesn't only happen in the military; it happens in corporations, and it's unfortunate.
Oh, of course.
There's multiple articles about this where it's
and corporate America responded by saying, you know what? All right, fine. If we put us on the same plane together, don't put us in the same seats. If you put us in a hotel, put us on different floors.
It creates this.
And women started griping about this.
Right, Coach. It created this issue where, it's not only damaging to men, but it's damaging to women as well. Because if you start to create this counterculture of men who just aren't comfortable being in these environments with women or being alone in areas with women, the opportunities to get these women up into a position of leadership becomes slim when you have that distance between men and women, and men being like, well, we don't feel safe enough to be in the same room as
put
you.
Yourself,
Rilla,
put yourself in their shoes. Rilla, put yourself in their shoes.
I don't blame them. I'm not saying that. I'm just bringing up the point.
If something actually happens, the problem with trying to believe the woman, because literally there's so much dudes trying to stay out of it and trying to keep themselves from being accused and trying to protect themselves.
Right.
It ends when something actually does happen, a guy's gonna be like, well, it's a no tolerance thing. So what you're trying to do is you're gonna keep the women that are actually getting the shit happening to them afraid to say something. And when she does say something, nobody's gonna believe her because, well, everybody's doing everything they can not to be accused.
Right.
Well, there's more. Let me add to that though. False accusations are having the same effect. False accusations make it difficult for the women who really are victims to come forward and get the help they need. That has been my argument for 3 years during my years in the Army. Towards the end of my career, that's the one thing I went toe to toe with my leaders on, to include the Sergeant Major of the Army. At that time, the Sergeant Major of the Army was a gentleman named Ray Chandler, and I asked him in an NCO discussion, hey, look, and this is where they gave us statistics. This is 2011, and this is after Obama got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So, according to the statistics, 60% of our female enlisted and 50% of our female officers were filing these sexual harassment claims. They were just filing these claims. But then I wanted to see what the breakdown was. First thing he asked was, since Don't Ask, Don't Tell went away, and the army is chock full of gay females, okay, how many same gender assaults do we have within this demographics? Once you're done with that, how many of these are false accusations? When I asked that question, I embarrassed the fuck out of Sergeant Major Chandler. Excuse my language, gentlemen. Why? Because I put his feet to the fire. I wasn't allowing him to be PC, and I almost lost my E5 behind it. I almost had my rank stripped off of because I asked that question. Now, the Division Sergeant Major for the 25th Infantry Division and the Division Sergeant Major for 8th TSC, where I fell under, they loved it because thank you, because I had the courage to ask that question. And within the corporate spaces, it is well known and well documented that women have often used sex as a means to move their career forward. The possibility of sex, that's to include how they wear their clothing. And I hate to say this, women's clothing is designed with sex appeal in mind. Unfortunately, that is ranging from business clothing to casual clothing to active sportswear, where it's showing off the female anatomy, showing off the parts that everyone pays attention to. But yet and still, when women wear these clothes, they try to control who notices them. And this is something else that becomes a point of contention in this country amongst men. You know, if I go out and I'm dressed to the nines, I accept the fact that I'm going to draw attention from people that I would find attractive, just on the visual side of the house, and people I wouldn't breathe on. But unfortunately, when you flip that dynamic and women are wearing pretty much basically shrink wrapped clothing, where you've got your bosom exposed, you got your buttocks exposed almost to the point to where you look like you're basically naked, except you've got shoes on. But then you become angry when men take notice. That's the choice you made when you walked out of the house like this. You have yes, you having all this attention is empowering, but
let me read these super chats real quick. We'll come back.
Go ahead, man. Sorry about that.
You got Melanie King will act as if she understands until she gets triggered and turns into the most modern woman you've seen. We saw that. A woman. Let me read this first. In the U.S., this believe all women is the craziest shit that I ever heard. A woman that cheated in the workplace told her husband said to report it. Husband said to report it. She claims SA got 1 million and the man lost his job. Wow. Now let's see. We got one more. Oh, well, that's it. So we need to kick 2 people out. Let a more another round of people in, because we got some more people in the waiting room and some people that have been trying to join. We got.
I wanted to ask another question to Chanel. So
I got next.
In terms of last one I asked you about like staring or anything, would it be safe to say that it just depends if you're attracted to the man, whether you decide if it's creepy or not?
Now I'm thinking about Coach D and how he told me to only say yes or no.
Now this is an open-ended question.
So I think. Oh, okay. I have a boyfriend, so
Hey, Auston,
I think if somebody is
real quick
staring at me.
Auston, I sent you a message.
Okay. Oh, I see it.
You can go ahead, Chanel. Sorry about that.
If somebody is staring at me in like a really creepy way, and I obviously am like weirded out by it, and I show just by like my body language that I'm not interested, and they just keep doing it, then yeah, I mean it's unwanted and it's weird. I'm not gonna be like, what the fuck are you staring at? I don't really care. I mean, it doesn't bother me. Like,
why don't you say something? If that bothers you, then why don't you open your mouth and say something?
It doesn't bother me that much, though. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I just think it's weird. Like, what? I don't have to be in the same room with them. Okay. Like, I'll just remove myself. And a lot of people are gonna. I've had a lot of people stare at me. It's
okay. Define creepy.
Like looking
creepy.
down, looking behind, looking at my ass. I don't know, licking his lips, biting his lips. Like that's some weird shit, right? If you're just staring at me like a normal person, like people stare at people. I people watch too. That's different. But
Yeah.
I think you can tell when it's obviously just how you look at people who are passing by, not looking at their ass, not like saying damn or I don't know.
Yeah, like
spandex.
Hey, Jerron, go
ahead, man.
Hey, Coach D, let's hear what Jerron has to say really quick.
Chanel,
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Nice to meet you, by the way. And
by the way, real quick before we even continue going, unless you're talking, please mute yourself. Thanks. Coach D, no disrespect, we can hear you munching over there, brother.
Sean, okay. And then anyway, Chanel, my question is, when you and your partner got together, did you met his family and what their impression of you?
This is a tough one because he grew up without a dad and his mom passed away when he was 21. But I met his uncles and aunts, and we got along really well. I mean, I guess from what he was saying, they liked me. I've only met them twice, actually. He's not very close with his family.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Like, and I'm really sorry about what happened to his family. That's really tragedy. By this loss. Okay. Like, did he met your family? And what did they think?
No, and what did they think about? My family, well, my parents, they really value some like respect, and they're more traditional. You come in, you say hi right away, you speak up. I think my ex was more quiet, so they hated that. So, if you treat them with respect, if you're around, they like it when, you involve yourself with the family activities and stuff and don't just sit off in a corner.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very, very important. Huh?
Let me give Pro Gun. This is a woman right here. She was just on the on the camera the whole time. Pro Gun, go ahead and turn your camera back on. Let me hear what you got to say.
Hello. I just want to thank you, Auston. I want to give you like the biggest hug because I'm completely divested, right? And you don't understand, like, this is like a dream come true for divestors. Like, seriously, like, I cannot thank you enough. And I wish you all the best of luck. Naturally, Black women and Black men are not compatible. So you don't understand, like, this is what we've been dreaming about. Like, divestors aren't pissed at all.
Let me stop you right there real quick.
The other Black women, trust me.
Let me stop you real quick.
If she wasn't pissed, she wouldn't be on here.
Yeah,
I haven't been talking for a long time.
No, I don't hate you guys. I'm happy.
Let me stop you real quick.
All right, first,
so
here we go.
You just said Black men and Black women are not compatible, but they've been compatible for thousands of years.
Not anymore. We've outgrown each other.
Who told you that bullshit?
And that's the reason why you're going overseas, and that's the reason why Black women are divesting.
Black people are not on. What'd you say?
Lady,
that's
you're the reason
why
we're
you're
going overseas.
Black women are not
Lady,
just in the
women
United
like
States.
you are the reason we're going overseas.
No, I'm thankful you guys are going overseas. I don't date Black men, so
hey yo, can I say something, man?
Really quick. We're gonna go around. We're gonna take some turns chatting here, but we're not gonna be speaking over each other. We're not gonna do that.
I'm not trying to. I'm just thankful. Right. I want to hug Auston. Like, I live in Auston. So when you said that you came to Auston,
I can tell you.
I was like, yeah, there's lots of us here, lots of divestors in Auston. So,
right. So peep this, right?
But I'm happy about this.
Historically speaking, Black women are getting married at the lowest rate ever.
Well, at 12%, we're marrying white guys. Look it up on Pew Research.
Okay, but let's get to the point.
Okay.
Even though black women are getting married, when they do, 80% of the time it's to black men.
Well, at 12%, it went up since 2009. We're at 12% now that we're marrying out. So that's a good thing. Like the numbers are creeping up slowly but surely. The divestment movement is
Did you
growing.
say that you're marrying out?
Yes, at 12%. Please, somebody Google Pew Research Center for Black women interracial.
But still, the point is,
it's at 12% now, and it went up for 2022.
Mute her ass so we could get our point across, because I'm tired of this shit. You know, let us talk. The point being that even still, when black women get married, even though it's at record low numbers historically, 80% of the time it's still to black men. So what you're just saying overall is just BS. It's just BS. That's it.
Get him.
Now our issue is the values that modern women are taking on.
Modern women in America. Let's keep it.
Feminist values that women are taking on. The facts are, there aren't men in this panel who just want to get away. We didn't just wake up. Well, we did just wake up one day and realize that, you know what, this shit is just not matching with us, and so we're out and we're going elsewhere. But the truth is that, you know, majority of Black America, when you speak about Black America, it's concentrated around cities, and cities are majority blue, you know, politically blue charged locations. You know,
well, so I'm ultra conservative, and I'm stuck in Austin, which is very liberal.
And you're a minority. You're a minority.
Yeah, I am, unfortunately.
You're conservative, but I'm very curious as, you know what? Now I'm curious because you did say you're a conservative, right?
Absolutely. Almost far right.
Where does this belief for you and wanting to detract? Where is that stem from? Because I want to see if maybe I want to see where your beliefs lie here. What's your issue with black men?
I'm an Army brat, so and my mother is a veteran, my father is a veteran. So I grew up in the Army, basically.
She just made us all look bad, bro.
Yeah, so lots of divestors, believe it or not, most of us are ultra conservative. So a lot of us aren't even liberal. We don't support any of that stuff. Most of us are ultra conservative when we love this country. So I'm saying if you guys are going to go overseas, you better hurry up before Trump gets back in office, because he's going to like block a lot of stuff from like the foreigners coming in and stuff like he did last time, which is cool with me because I love Trump. But yeah,
brothers been traveling overseas. Brothers been traveling overseas for years and years and years before Trump. Nobody's gonna stop brothers from traveling overseas.
We don't want to stop
traveling overseas before the 60s, long ago. Traveling the world is our history. That's never going to stop.
Well, the thing is, he stopped Arabs from
With you being in the Army, Brad, you should know that black men have been overseas.
No, I'm not arguing with that.
Austin, mute fast. We're not doing this. Not doing this.
Yeah. So let me read these super chats, and we're gonna go one at a time because I had to mute two people, but they said Jumbie Travels is you look like AMS, but where's the beard? My girl's whole nose is golden. He said it again. How are they married out to white men at 12%? At a 12% rate, if their total marriage rate is 26%. Austin, this woman hops from panel to panel saying the same thing she always does is boot her, don't pay her any attention. That's what she wants. We're gonna find out. So who wants to respond first to her?
What I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to start mess. I'm saying I love you guys, and I agree with the reason why you're leaving. A lot of us are overweight. A lot of us are rude. I totally get it. So the divestors.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question, because you just came from this perspective, acknowledging that the issue is with there's
some issues with black women.
Your argument is very kind of backwards, and this is why I'm getting the perspective that you're trolling, because I'm not part of the problem, but I agree that a lot of women are the issue, and you're a divester. So why don't you want to find another man who's a conservative man with your values here stateside? Because it sounds like you're going off the deep end, and I'm just kind of curious about that perspective.
No, my fiance he's white, ultra conservative. He's the one who really opened my mind with all the left propaganda. he does not, we don't believe in victimhood around here. So the thing is, I totally understand why you guys are leaving. The thing is, that's good. It's like a divestor's dream come true because we love America. And a lot of us aren't checking for black men. I'm sorry. We're just not.
Okay,
So
let me stop you real quick, ma'am.
We're
Ma'am, let me stop you. You don't hear shit. Trump went and got a foreign woman. Somebody did point that out. That is very true. So I doubt that's stopping any of this passport, bro. That might be included in some of that left propaganda that you brought up. I do think that we are at the point of no returning in dating and relationships in Black America. 80% of Black women don't want to get married, incompatible. That's based on the percentage that file for divorce. Let's see. She gives like a white girl. Okay, that's it so far. Is that divest or trans?
No, it doesn't matter because I work out because I have muscles.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that.
Lady,
Okay,
I'm
so
50.
it doesn't
Lady, I'm
matter.
52 years old, and I will kick your
For
head
sure, I'm
off.
getting trainee vibes.
Oh God, you're violent.
One quick question.
Lady, hey,
let's
don't
let
go
DeSantis go
flexing
real
up
quick.
in here.
Oh, I will do it all day.
One quick
Do you mind could jump in, please?
No, we need to go one at a person. DeSantos and then Chanel. What were you saying, Chanel? You about to get off?
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna have dinner with my parents.
Oh, I thought you were about to say your man.
You're so beautiful.
No,
You are.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you today. You were very cooperative.
She's beautiful because she got real hair.
Yeah, and I have braids, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you like.
Okay. Let's let
All right, bye
DeSantos
guys.
go.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
My
See you later,
DeSantos.
Chanel.
My big thing is I'm questioning why is it always having to go back to Black women and Black men? You said that we leaving because we don't want Black women here. It ain't about the Black women. It's not. It's about the women and the culture they are from here. That's what we're leaving. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with where you're from, what city, state, whatever. It's the culture in America that we're leaving from. We're not dealing with women the way they act here in the United States anymore. It has nothing to do with Black women. So do not turn it into a Black woman, Black man thing. It has nothing to do with that.
Right, I agree because it has nothing to do with that. Because and the other thing I want to answer you a question, pro guns. You seem like a sweet lady and all, and what you saying that you don't date black guys. Well, that's good, and what you say that like that you support us, that you support us traveling around the world, like and I want to say like that's good too, like you was being respectful, respective, and I can respect that because you're very respectful woman, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And that's why you came over here for, and that's what got me in the movie.
I'm just here to let you guys know that not every Black woman is mad because you're leaving. I know it seems that way because of TikTok.
We don't care.
We love it. We're here to support
Lady,
you. Like that's a
lady,
small
we don't
minority of
care.
Black women that are actually mad. We're not mad.
Can I ask you a
It's a
question?
good
Lady, we don't care.
Hey, my man Austin said some tough stuff. He was talking about Brazil. Did you know that there's more Black people in Brazil than there is in the U.S.? Did you know that? So when you're talking about
the one says she doesn't.
blacks in America, technically South America, North America, hey, America, blacks are in America, South America. We're just going for the more natural, unwesternized kind. But you want to understand.
No, I get it. I hate the lashes. I hate the lace fronts too. Most divestors do. So we're not your enemies.
You're turning it back into a race thing. You see what I mean here? It's not a race.
No, I see
and it did no.
Asian guy, he's a hot guy. But yeah, I see that he's leaving too. I get it.
Mute her.
No, you don't.
My bad.
Mute her because we're not doing this. And if people start over talking, whoever's not over talking or whoever is over talking, mute them.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some people out of here real quick. Jerron, I appreciate you coming through, bro. We had to drop you down, get a new round of people.
I'm out of here too, man. Much respect to all y'all, man. Shout out to the whole panel. Much respect.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So here's the
I have
thing.
some words
All
for
right,
the divester.
real quick, Coach.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. Again, it's not a race thing. Chanel was just on here. She's a
Agreed.
Western woman. She was Asian. It is not a race thing. This is an issue with all Western women, majority, except for the ones who tend to be conservative. But for you, for some reason, somehow you are claiming to be conservative and extremely combative and not feminine at all. That's not the vibe we're getting here.
I'm
You know?
extremely feminine.
So I wouldn't be able to tell.
And very submissive to my white fiance. Yeah, I am.
I can't say, you know.
I know.
To him,
Trust me.
This is getting insulting.
is a switch. Right?
It's not.
So here's my thing, right?
Okay.
You as a Black woman who is conservative, what made you want to choose a white man over finding a conservative Black man, or anyone in general who's just conservative? Why didn't you go that route? Why did you?
I've been around some really great conservative Black guys. I'm just I'm not attracted to Black guys. Black guys don't do it for me. So it's not about me hating you guys. I mean, it sounds weird and crazy. I know that. And I'm not even supposed to be over here. The divestors are going to kill me. Oh my God.
You answered the question. We don't need to go into you.
Yeah, it says Black guys don't do it.
Yes, use less words.
Yeah, so let's answer the question and then let's move forward. So you chose to divest. And here's what I'm trying to wonder here. If we're speaking to the mirror sex of the passport movement, right? Like, are there women who have the same kind of gripes with men who are more left-leaning, right? Because we know that this group of men inside of here who tend to be passport bros are more right-leaning. Are we speaking to a woman who is a conservative woman who's been dealing with a bunch of quote-unquote city boys, let's say, right?
No, I've been around some quote unquote great Black guys, but it doesn't matter. In the divestment community, we use a term called all. So we vet all.
I'm very stressed out about
We're very cautious around all Black men.
Then here's the thing that I'm kind of concerned for your well-being about, because you spoke about divestors and that being a movement of people not dating within their race, predominantly around Black people, and you spoke that your husband taught you this. It sounds extremely racist to me, and I wonder who your man is and who you're dealing with, because this is some pretty crazy shit.
It's not racist at all. Like the guy in the suspenders, is that overalls or whatever he said earlier, because I watched it earlier. I just so happened to click on it and I saw that he was saying that he doesn't date Black women, which is fine. I don't know. There's probably a lot of Black women that probably wouldn't check for him. So he's probably been through rejection most of his life. And so he's angry, or maybe he's not. I don't know. Just like Black guys are there for me.
I'm genuinely getting troll vibes.
Black women probably.
You're being trolled.
I think we need to move on, because I'm getting troll vibes. I'm just getting like some.
Yeah,
he's been groomed by.
Really give her the boot, man.
Hey, hold on. Hey, guys, can I add?
Hold on.
Mute fest.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Let's read these super chats, and then we'll let her say one more thing, and if it's some bullshit, we'll
She
kick her
gotta go,
out.
man.
My question to here, there are plenty. Oh, well, let me read this first. I believe Chad wants his mayonnaise casserole warmed up at Pro Gun. Don't keep him waiting, sweetie. My question to her, I guess he meant to say, there are plenty of brothers that ascribe to MAGA. Trump got record Black male support as a Republican. Why don't you consider them? Chanel left due to secondhand embarrassment. I don't blame her. I'm trying to help you brothers right now. She Goya by conservative Black woman. She always does this, hops on panels with her Confederate flag mask. And she's trying to get y'all riled up. Y'all are taking the bait. That is a man. Remember, there are Black women in Brazil, Africa, and Afro-Latinas are overseas. Is about culture. Why does these women that date only white men are always on Black panels without their white boyfriends? I think she's lying. See, we may have a few more here. How many men does it take to win the argument versus a woman? Apparently a lot tonight. Let her talk and have her say. She may not fit your narrative. I don't know about that one. Okay.
I'm
She
just
literally
letting you
walked
guys
in
know
support
it's
and
so
said yes.
frustrating seeing all the silly black women on TikTok and all over social media, like and Courtney Michelle. Oh my God, I
Well,
love
then
her.
why
She's
don't you
so
call him
gorgeous.
out?
But
Why
why is
don't you
she
call him out? Why don't you call him out then? Why don't
No,
you call
like
him out then?
Courtney Michelle, all the
Why
Danica Marie,
don't
all
you
these
call
women
them
that are like
out?
begging. They can easily
Why
divest
don't you
me.
call them out?
I am.
If
I'm
you
calling them out. I get so frustrated because I
not
feel like
not
I'm
in front of
lumped in.
us, you go call them out. Form a group and go call them out.
I think I am because it's so frustrating. You know what I mean? As a black woman that's fully divested, I haven't dated a black guy in years, and I could easily date a
So
black
what?
guy. It's not a problem.
So
But the thing
what?
is,
We
we
don't
don't
care.
care that you guys are leaving. That's like we've been dreaming about this day.
Can
Like
I ask one
seriously,
question?
if black guys need to leave
Yeah,
and go happy,
ma'am, let's let Edward respond real quick. He's
that's
got something he want to say to you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And it's nice to see your face. You know, it's the first time I saw your
Yeah,
face.
I'm one of the only
that.
divestors that'll show my face.
So that is actually true. Here's my question to you. So you're saying, I'm going to take what you're saying at face value. You're saying it's a divestor's dream come true.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming because the more black men that leave, the more black women are going to have no choice but to actually take divestment
You're
on
going to be
as a
forced.
serious thing.
Yes, even the mammies, they'll be forced to
Okay,
do it.
so we're on the same page there. Great.
Mhm.
So my
Yeah.
question is, and this kind of goes into what Coach D was saying, all this heat that we're getting, particularly from black women. Now we're getting from black men. I'm not even going to say that, but black women. Why is it that you don't go on these panels and you don't tell these women stop being mammies and stop begging black men? They don't want you. Black
I'm
men
thinking
ain't
about
shit.
doing that. Yeah.
Black men ain't shit. They don't want you. They're never going to
Mhm.
change. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's because I'm for black women dating now. I think that this would kill. Hold on. I think this would kill a lot of this BS. All this arguing and arrows and gender warring BS. At the end of the day, I'm for a libertarian dating market. The black men and black women want to change are not going to change because black women are already giving up sex to them, so they have no incentive to change. And the black men that actually would be, quote unquote, a good man for them, black women seem to not be sexually attracted to. At least not enough to be submissive. And that's for whatever reason. I'm not here to judge that. My thing to you is I see you on Dennis. I see you everywhere that a black man is. I don't see you talking to black women.
Because I've been on Courtney Michelle's show. I've been over there before. And I've been on Jessica X. But the thing is, they call me crazy. They think I'm insane because I'm telling them that we don't care like y'all mammies care. Like we don't
Jessica
care.
X doesn't care about black men.
When you see me out in public, you probably think I'm one of those women that care, and I don't.
But Jessica X doesn't. Hold on, Jessica X doesn't care, and Courtney has questions. I'm talking about the women that really, really be getting real rah about it. Because my personal opinion is that a lot of black, and I'm gonna put you in this category now. A lot of black women, they would fantasize about dealing with a white man. Some of them can get a white man. I'm in North Carolina. I've seen it.
Easily.
But well, okay, if that's so true, I go back to what Rilla said. Why? This is what I don't get. Clearly, like about 10% of them, 10% of the kids that are born by interracial relationships when it comes to black women. So 90% of the kids that are being sired by people that are sorry about that. Okay, it went out. Classified as black men. Why in the world, if black women can get white men so easily, are they still dealing with black men? I would rather black women date out, be happy, than have all this hatred and vitriol. You literally have black women talk about aborting black male babies because for some reason they can't just date out and go be happy. I would never tell say passport bros or support passport bros and then turn around and tell black women they can't travel, even though black women travel more than black men.
Yeah. When I was in Italy, I saw lots of black American women. Like
so why don't you ask these women? Why don't you create a channel to illuminate that black women do travel and they
Everybody's asking me to do. I think I'm going to do that. But then do I really want all the heat? Like I'm going to get a lot of heat because I have a lot of things to say that's not It's
Wait,
very
wait. You're gonna get heat from who? Black people?
everybody. Yeah,
I
because
thought you was
I'm far right
divested
wing.
though.
Huh?
So you shouldn't care. I thought you was divested.
Well, I have business affairs. I have a lot of other
With
things
black
going
people?
on, but
You have business affairs with black people?
with some black people, not a
Black
lot.
men or black
Black
women?
people don't like to pay, but with
Pause right there real quick.
because I have a
Let me read these
consult.
super chats real quick. Jesus Christ. And then I'm about to kick you out. White women, Asians, and Latinas are Brad's choices in that order. Black women ain't even in the top 3. Come on, guys, get her off the panel. Yeah, we're about to wrap that up. Let's
I
see
said
how
what
long
I
that
said.
marriage lasts. Let's see. Excuse me, lady boy, have you been on Cynthia G? The need to inform us that black women aren't checking for us and support us, leaving only exposes your hurt is not well hidden at all. We don't care. Kick rocks. Go ahead, Will. What were you about to say?
So I got a question for you.
They want us to care so bad.
Do you happen to be Bossy Empress? Are you Bossy Empress?
Hell no. No. I don't want to say it like that. She's a sweet girl. She's just going through a lot of stuff.
After this question,
No.
we're gonna wrap it up. Go ahead.
But no, I was going to say Google the Pew Research Center for Black Women and Interracial Dating. It went up to 12% in 2015, and the 2022 numbers hasn't came in yet. But I'm just saying.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you calling in. We don't.
And I remember the Asian guy. What's your name? I was looking for your
Will.
page. The Art of Will.
I appreciate you calling in.
Do you have a channel?
No, I don't plan on having. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, she overtalks way too much.
Man,
Freak show
yeah.
now.
Thank you for getting rid of her,
Black
man. She
women
was
can
getting
marry
annoying.
white men at will.
She sounded familiar.
We all know it's a halfway house. Harry with 12 teeth that claimed her. The real question is, why isn't she on the white male panel selling the benefits of black women to them? Think if she was really happy in her divesting relationship, she would not be in these spaces. Slave play is taking a toll on her physique.
Psyche.
That's it for the super chat.
All right.
She
I was getting
love the conversation completely.
I was going.
Hold on now.
My bad.
I'm getting some
What pissed me
vibes
off
here.
was her.
All right.
What
You know
pissed me
what,
off was her
guys?
flexing.
So before she took off, I wanted to also address to her that whenever we had panels, we did not mention one word, or at least I did not hear one single word about black women. We only talked about American women, Western women, and the culture. We didn't say one single word.
I was going to bring that up when she brought up the fact that she saw me on the other call-in when she said, "No, I don't date black women," and then proceeded the fact that she's supposed to be happy that I'm not dating black women, but then proceeded to try to attack me and say, "Oh, well, you probably dealt with a lot of rejection." I was like, "So why does that bother you? That shouldn't bother you because you're divested. You don't want to worry about that. So why does it matter if I don't date black women?" And if you watch the show, then you realize that I explained why I don't date black women. It ain't because I'm not attracted to them, but you needed something to try to.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying? Like
I feel like I was getting some, Triple K vibes there. Some brainwashing she got from some white guy in America. That's some MAGA follower. It was a really weird vibe there, right? Because even a lot of the brothers here, who are passport bros, we go abroad and we still tend to go and be attracted towards women with a lot of melanin. So just weird for her to, try to claim that passport bros are divestors. We're not divestors. We just go elsewhere to find more feminine, cooperative, still melanated sisters from abroad.
So
and some of them happen to be Latina and such or whatnot, and that is what it is. But I don't know if you guys agree, but I just felt a lot of self-hate.
Well, Rilla, maybe we're biased. So Dennis actually helped that. Dennis Sperling, shout out to him, has a video. He interviewed a white guy that actually reacted to, I think, her interview with Dennis Sperling. This is when she had the Confederate mask. And he interviewed her after she did the reaction. I'll probably drop that in the Discord, but it's there. And trust and believe, he was nice about it, but he was like, this is not the kind of thing that I'm looking for, even if I'm open to dating black women. And even quite frankly, even a lot of guys that might be, let's just say, pseudo racist, they don't want African American women broadcasting it so much so that they literally walk around with a Confederate mask, because a lot of these folks have actual jobs. And it's funny because, from my opinion, her character, this is why I think she don't even have a white dude, because she looks at everything through the perception of stereotypes, even white men.
Boy.
So there's either all conservative white men, most conservative white men are not racist, but the way she talks about it is she can't difference between racism and conservatism. Anyway,
Or prejudice, if I might add, or prejudice. Really, I gotta give you. I put it like this: anybody dazed and confused, I believe she is. It was insulting seeing her. I go to the gym, I work out, and I'm like, lady, I'm 52 years old. I am capable of kicking your head off of your shoulders. So I mean, I'm not impressed that you go to the gym. So what? So all of the things that this woman was saying, we're happy that you're going. Go ahead, go. I'm like, we're going. And what's your point? I'm here to support you. Are you? Or are you here to try and be seen and heard and to try and start a mess? Which she successfully did. I mean, brother, I was ready to start cussing her out.
If she wants to, well, the thing is, there's a lot of women like that, and they want you to get mad, and that's their goal. What I would say, the way I address to her, the way I always address her, and I'm dead serious about this. I'm all for anybody being happy. It is 2022. The type of stuff, we went from the Defense of Marriage Act to where we are here. I'm gonna leave it at that. So if the stuff that can get away, I am all for. I'd rather black women I am serious about this. I'm not playing, because I've been doing this Black manosphere stuff for a long time. I truly would rather African American women be happy. If you cannot be happy with a black man, go be happy with somewhere else, because I would rather them do that than get on the microphone and constantly say all the stuff that we have to hear said about us. And when you look at all of this heat when it comes to passport bros get, even from a lot of the guys, guess what? We probably wouldn't get that kind of heat if the women were actually going and dating someone else. In fact, I'm gonna keep it real. Yeah.
Most of the people that have criticism of brothers that are traveling, most of these people have never been anywhere themselves, right? So they speak on stuff that they don't know about because they have an idea, they have a concept of what they think it is, and it's not that. When you go overseas and you experience it for yourself, then you can talk about it. But most of the people talking about it and criticizing, they've never been anywhere, and if they have, they've been to a typical place. Maybe they went to Cancun and stayed at a resort for a week. Yeah. Maybe they go to normal places, but they don't have the.
And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna hop off to give some room to the panel. I appreciate y'all letting me up.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I want to do, other than the main mission of giving guys the option of the opportunity to travel, because at the end of the day, these are all about options. If you want to stay in the United States, nobody's arguing with you to do that. I mean, I'm not an expat type person, although I've learned stuff from you all. It's like the taxes and stuff like that. I'm more of a I live in the United States, but travel, and I support dudes that want to expat because I want black men to have networks everywhere. So believe me, I support that. But the thing that I want to be known is black women travel more than black men. Black women have more passports than black men. And that's one thing she said about them being in Italy and they're in France. The thing is, this idea is
but
that
they're in the
black
tourist
men,
traps, though.
Well, either way, the argument is that black women are staying here holding down the fort and black men are running away. The reality is the passport community amongst black women is far larger. I'm talking about outside of like passport bros. It's far larger. You got websites like Travel.
The thing is the place.
Let's do this real quick. We're about to give the lady a chance to speak.
All right.
But we're about to start a new round of people.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take out a couple people. Let's see. Okay. Unmute yourself, please.
Hey guys, good evening. How's everybody? I'm a little nervous, so just bear with me as I talk a little bit, because y'all a little brutal for the women now. But I just kind of wanted to not sure how would this come off, but basically voice my opinion on. I'm a little disappointed because I fight for Black families, and I get y'all not getting the love and all of that stuff, and I understand our women are like out of control. I get it, but isn't it an alternative to this? Like, isn't it other options than you guys going over there and finding your wives? And yes, I get it. They do everything that we are supposed to do, but don't we have other alternatives rather than just going over there?
Let me
Like,
stop you real quick.
Yeah,
Let me stop you real
sorry.
quick. Coach D, if you want to call back in, give me like 15 minutes. Just got to shuffle around the panel. John Willis says greetings from Japan. Now I want to. How are you first?
You said how old am I?
Yes.
37.
Where are you at?
I'm in Maryland.
Okay. Now I want to say that first question you just asked was a very rhetorical question.
Okay.
Is there other options? If there were other, what would the other options be?
Maybe like be a little bit more patient. Like, I'm curious. Like, was it maybe
Kevin Samuels tried that.
I know I like Kevin Samuels.
Well, yeah, you see that he's no longer here, and they
I
shitted on him when
know.
he died. So we know that doesn't work.
Well, can I ask you?
Go ahead, DeSantos.
Yeah, you can ask me a question.
Are you in a relationship right now?
I'm married.
Okay, so you're already married. You're good. Everything's fine. So why does it matter if anybody else leaves?
Because well, first of all, my purpose, I do have a brand. So my purpose is to help build generational wealth in the Black community. And I do that through accounting, helping our businesses grow and things of that nature. And it dawned on me like last week, oh my gosh, if I do not help rebuild the Black family, I would not be able to achieve my purpose, which is help build generational wealth. And so I've been watching you, Austin, for a while, okay? I'm not new to you guys. And it just hit me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what needs to be done? So I asked my publicist, can I start talking about it? She said, you always talk about whatever you want to talk about anyway. So today on my live stream, I talked about it. So I'm just trying to figure out what could I do as a woman to really help to prevent you guys from going over there and marrying. Like, I don't want that for our community.
So you don't want the Black men, you don't want the Asian men, you don't want the white men. You let them leave. They can go. But you want the Black.
No, the majority of us want you guys. We're just stuck in this facade. And I was just saying this online, and I always say,
it's not about Black people. It's not about that. We're leaving not because Black women aren't acting right, American women. That's what we're talking about. It has nothing to do with race.
That's a good point, DeSanto.
I understand what you're trying to do. I understand that you want the Black family back together. It's totally understandable. But that's not why we're leaving. It's about American women. I have been married twice to Mexican women.
Right.
I'm leaving still. It has nothing to do with Black women.
That's it. That's a good point. That's a good point that I want to get back off.
Can I
so hold on real quick, man. We're not going to do this disrupting stuff. Man, this whole stream, I'm getting disrupted. You're going to have your chance, brother. Thanks for joining the stream. But hold on. We're not going to do the talking over stuff. Sorry, DeSantos, for talking over you. I just want to piggyback off that point. So here's the thing. DeSantos brought up a good point. It's not just about Black women. It is an American Western thing. But I do want to get to the point where we're answering your question of how can we start pushing back towards that, because I like what you're trying to do. I think it's an honorable thing, right? But I think the only way we get there, and it's not going to be in this generation, you're not going to prevent these fellas from not going abroad and meeting who they want to meet and be with. That's just not going to happen. This is going to be a process that's going to take a few generations, and it's going to take a major pushback of women who are coming and standing against and fighting back against feminism in the West in general, because a lot of the issues that we're having out here in the West are pertaining to women in America and women in Western countries taking on this mindset, this liberal belief in mindsets and ideologies around feminism. That is how you're going to do it. If you wanted a straightforward answer, that is the only way, and it's going to take a few generations.
Let's let True Table. You had a question. Go ahead and ask your question.
Well, shout out to you, Austin. Wanted
Thank
to
you.
address you. Love what you're doing. And no, I wanted to address the young lady's question for the panel. I think that one thing you can do, and the advantage that you have, is that you're a woman, and that realistically, you're not going to stop men from doing what we do best and adapting. This is what we do. Women create the standards that are the dating market. If they say this is not good enough or this is what it is, then men are going to adapt. Quite frankly, it's shocking that you would want to figure out how to keep us from expanding upon ourselves, because travel is not just for going abroad to meet women. Travel is necessary for a man in his expansion and what he can offer if he does decide to come back to America. There are a lot of things that our culture lacks and our society lacks, from just the standpoint that we're a young nation. And what I've learned, I've traveled 22 countries. So everything Austin is saying, everything the brothers abroad have been saying that they're experiencing, I've lived for well over 20 years. It is a better developed man that you get if you allow us to journey abroad, because we start to adapt. The one thing we don't have in this country is that we don't have a lot of culture, especially being Black men predominantly. And then our society is fragmented. Our neighborhoods are fragmented. But for your particular focal point, I think that if you want men, American men, Black men, whatever your focus is, I think you need to start holding women accountable. When they are so quick to shame the men that are willing to lay down their life, work hard, and sacrifice, you and amongst you, other women, should be quick to stop that and put a halt to it, because we're saying the same thing and we're still getting pushback and getting shamed for the very simple things that are capable of the women that claim they're more educated than any other group and claim they're more, intelligent than any other group. Well, let's try on this feminism. Let's try on treating the men that you say you love and respect. Let's try that.
Go ahead,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, so y'all made some good points. I really can't even say anything because the American culture, I don't really agree with how we are right now either, both from the male perspective and the female perspective. So I do understand, and I am the accountability accountant, so I don't think the ladies would be too mad at me if I drop some stuff in between of my content, because I really feel like you guys getting the exposure is amazing, because you guys will have more conversations. You would just be able to just allow us the opportunity to travel with you guys, the more exposure and stuff that you guys get, and you can teach us more and things like that. So I love that you guys will be well traveled, right? But my fear is it's just breaking up the Black family in totality. That is just my concern. And I appreciate you guys really looking for the women, and you're showing us that y'all want us. But can y'all maybe give us a little bit more opportunities?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But we right here, we have another woman in. What is your name?
I'm Tanya.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I was on with y'all, I think yesterday or the other day. So I just had a question, and my the lighting in here is not good. So I'll just pose my question to the panel, and then y'all can go ahead and kick me. So my question is, right, I'm a little perplexed. I've been celibate for several years. I haven't dated, so I wasn't aware that we had all this stuff going on. So I'm a little perplexed, because I would think as individual adults, you establish the quality of life for yourself. You establish the quality of your relationships. You also, when you go about dating as an adult, you decide what your approach is. So I'm a little bit confused as to why you guys speak so generally about women, especially as it relates to leftist movements or other social movements, because, the point I'm making is, right, there's a goth scene. I'm not into goth. Nobody I date is into goth. So that has nothing to do with us. So as far as these movements and all these things going on as adult individuals, what does that have to do with us individually? Is it that difficult? Is it really more common that women, let me finish, is it really that common? Because I don't know, I haven't been dating. Is it really that common that you're finding that the women are really, herd-like and sheep-like, and that they're mostly the same way, and it's really this prevalent of a problem?
Yes. So
Yes.
we're gonna start this from left to right. Me, Rilla.
Then y'all
Seth,
can kick me.
etc.
I'm sick. I
So
want to be on.
Before you head
you
off,
had,
though,
you
real
have
quick.
you had to log off.
No, I'm just saying I'm sick, so I'm not looking my best. I don't want to be on here
Okay.
too long. I just wanted to for you
Okay.
guys.
So
real
you
quick,
have a
before
problem
you
with
take
generalizing.
off, before she takes off, you said that you're not into what? What was the G word?
Goth.
Goth, like GOTH?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
black
Okay,
nails
okay.
and shit.
Okay.
So
No,
you have
like
a
the guy,
problem with
like
generalizing.
spiky hair stuff, whatever.
That is my first time hearing anybody say that about black women in goth. Just to let you know.
Oh no,
Second,
I'm not. No. I meant I'm just bringing up a random kind of social scene I'm not into. Like I don't know anything about. I'm just bringing up something randomly to make the point
Okay.
that whatever social scenes are out there, if they have nothing to do with me, they have
Yes,
nothing to
no,
do with me.
I understand where you're coming from. So,
Okay.
so you have a problem with us generalizing, is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I don't
Yeah.
have a problem with it. I'm just trying to understand because I'm like, I can't picture intelligent men who pursue their endeavors with all the fervor that you do, not applying that same approach to having a woman and a wife.
Okay, let me say something. Let's keep these answers a little more simplified.
Okay.
Okay, it's taking up a lot of time. So you have a problem with us generalizing? That's a yes or no?
I do. I
Okay.
do. I think generalizing, but
Okay.
I don't.
We're gonna get to the elaboration here in a second. So you don't like us generalizing?
I didn't say
So
didn't like it.
okay. So what is your recommendation for us instead of generalizing? Is it to deal with each individual bullshit woman?
No. So I think that there's like a mode we get into collectively. I get that, right? And I get what your angst is as far as wanting someone traditional, and that is in the traditional role, and that's what you require. My question is, the people that are part of these collective groups that adopt this collective behavior, why would you even be considering them when the women that aren't like that, maybe they're not as readily available?
So
You're using so many words, you're losing me.
I'll jump in there, right? Because I can keep up in this regard because the
Yeah.
thing that you're failing to understand is that everybody in America falls under a column. Whether you like to acknowledge it or not, and even if you're ignorant to it, you fall into a column, right? So when I speak left leaning, right leaning, these are beliefs that we have in America, right? So generally, the left is going to be pro-choice in terms of adoption. Do you agree? They're going to be the ones
I'm not left or
not
right.
adoption,
I'm an individual, so
what's the word? Abortion. The left is going to be pro-abortion. The right is going to be pro-life. Everybody falls into a column in terms of like their values in life, and everybody
I don't
in
think
America
so.
does. Yes, everybody has a belief, and when you side on one side, it's typically not nuanced like it used to be. Like I can ask you right now a few questions, and I can, by your values and what you're admitting to me, I can tell you who you would agree with politically, right?
I
And so
beg to differ. I think if anything, people are, especially within the Black community, I think that we're less polarized than you think. I think that people are
I think that most of Black America falls on the left category because most of Black America lives within inner cities. And inner cities typically are democratically ran.
Okay, well, let's get away from the politics of it because I'm talking about individual people. You're talking about like sheeple, and you're going to have the majority of that, right? But everybody's not like that.
When you identify, right, and when the media that you're consuming, right, the music that you're consuming, right, tends to sway in one way or another, the beliefs that you adopt because of that tends to sway you in one direction or another.
I get what you're saying. So you're saying this is what
those
people
who
are doing.
consume a lot of hip hop music, urban music, all of that Meg Thee Stallion style culture stuff, right? They tend to sway far left, and this is what a lot of America tends to, or Black America tends to consume by and large. approach. And so that's why we're seeing a lot of these issues where a lot of Black American men want to be providers, want to be traditional. And if you see in the Passport Bros, we tend to have more traditional conservative beliefs, right, and family values, but they don't align with a lot of Black America. And here's the thing, here's the correlation. In America right now, the number one consumed form of music is hip hop. It has been number one Billboard charting, trending. Black culture is American culture at this point. And unfortunately, the loudest side of Black culture in America is this urban appeal. Back in the days, in the 60s, 70s, it wasn't. And back then, Black America tend to sway more conservative leaning. So you saw Black America at a time, during a time where there were more family values instilled. But when Black America became liberal, issues starting arising.
May I interject here? And I don't want to dominate the panel here. I do want to bring this up. I understand exactly what you're saying. My point is this. If you require a woman, the same fervor you apply to your career, to your life that you create for yourself, I don't understand why that same fervor would not be applied to getting a woman. Because you're not going, if you're not looking for someone mainstream, you're going to have to tweak your approach so that you can get that person that's not mainstream. Because guess what? Those women are not mainstream. You're not going to encounter them.
Tanya, what do you think we're doing here?
Rilla,
what do you think we're doing here by forming the Passport Bros? Are we not doing that?
I think, you know what? You absolutely are. And when you talk about going overseas, I did not assume that you were not talking about Black women. There are Black women everywhere, especially particularly in Brazil, right? They have a very large African population. So I get that. I'm just,
We are doing that. And unfortunately, liberal America just doesn't identify with our beliefs anymore. The men who want to provide, the men who have those values, the men who are lean more conservative, we don't identify with the nonsense that these women who are liberal feminists.
I just don't see that in the community, though. I just see a lot of women in the community. I live in a Black community. I'm down here in Albany, Georgia, and I'm just not seeing. And again, my proximity to Atlanta, I know what goes on in Atlanta, but I've been down here for years, and I don't see that. I think that's, I see most women are just involved with their men. If anything, they're just, it's kind of like the same thing it's always been, where they've been with a man a long time, or
it's still Atlanta in an inner city metro that is very left leaning.
I'm not, but when I was here for my house in Gwinnett, I was out in Gwinnett with my kid. Like, that's not my interest, so it has nothing to do with me. So you would never encounter someone like me. Not that you would want to. I'm just saying, the point I'm trying to make is that, there are plenty of beautiful women that are what you're looking for here, that could better benefit you by being maverick enough to navigate this culture without, becoming mainstream.
Ma'am, let me cut you off really quick. Read these super chats. They've been waiting to tell you.
All right.
And then we'll go to DeSantos, because I know DeSantos is next in line and he has something he want to tell you.
Okay.
Send her back to the moon. She's beyond lost. We'll speak generally because we understand that the exception doesn't make the rule. American women are not the exception when it comes to choosing a feminine woman.
Point taken.
Will extend grace when your words match your actions on a consistent basis. Other than that, these planes need me.
Okay.
Keeping a bad attitude and constant contempt for us is breaking up the Black family, not brothers traveling.
Okay.
We done with Western women, no turning back. We have been saying the same thing for 40 years, and you still want us to give Black women more time. You're talking to the wrong audience, and I would agree. Let's see. Okay, that is it. So DeSantos, go ahead and run her your question real quick.
What I wanted to respond to was her saying us applying the pressure. Us doing what we do for our career, how we push, how we fight to get our career up. How come we can't apply that same to the women that we're trying to be with? I'm going to give that as life experience.
Okay.
I've been in 3 major relationships. Each one I put everything into, as in working, taking care of the family. None of them ever worked. They were all stay-at-home moms. I paid for everything. I took care of them. I took in kids that weren't mine. I was the consummate simp, as you would say.
Okay.
I literally have 7 stepkids that I take care of. 7. None of them are mine. I treat them as my own, and I'm not with any of the moms. So
Okay.
I am the consummate. You can say I was a simp. Okay.
I wouldn't say that, but
That's how I feel, because I was stupid enough to do all the stuff that I did and to get done the way I got done. It's not that I'm jaded. It's the fact that I saw, I pushed, I did everything that was possible to make every one of those relationships work. Each one of those women decided upon themselves to take it a different direction. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going off of life experience. So you can't just say, oh, well, we do. But after a while, we get tired. We get tired of pushing. We get tired of trying. We get tired of the runaround games. And this is not just, this is me trying to date after. Pushing, doing everything possible to make these women happy and all this and that, and you're not getting the same back. So then you take yourself across overseas. You go to South America, you go to Mexico, you go and you see the culture there, and you go see that these women are willing to give you what you've been lacking immediately.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that this is attributed to single parent households where the women are adopting the behavior as the mother in the house who's doing all this stuff? Like, no. I don't mean like a mothering perspective. I mean like, you grow up in a single parent household. The mom is doing the role of the dad and the woman. So now the women they're not able to settle in and be a woman. They don't have that example, right? Is that what you're encountering, women that are behaving like men?
I have 4 daughters, and I worry about them because of my 2 older ones are exactly like their mothers. And it's scary to see the things that they are doing because they're following in their mother's footsteps from the way their moms are. And that's not just my kids. That's just the way the culture is in the United States. The mothers that are keeping kids from their fathers trying. Fathers just don't want to be there for their kids in the first place, and the mothers doing their best. It all factors in. But either way, the culture in the United States has bred all of this. This is the reason why all of us and guys like Auston, who's a young man who's 23 years old, is seeing this from the jump, from an early age, and he's deciding I'm done. I'm a 40-year-old man. I've tried. I've been through everything. I've dated many women. I've been all over the place. I'm tired. I'm just done with it. And it's the reason why I tried to make this leap and this change once you see what there is out there in the rest of the world. And then now we're being criticized for it, and we're being criticized for it because we're deciding enough is enough.
Well, I think people are criticizing it because maybe they're not understanding that it's not that you're seeking other races or some kind of different style of beauty. You're just seeking women, and it's not a race thing, but what I'm saying is when you talk about Brazil, I think what you have in your head is that there are women there that, are my same color, but they come from a different culture and not submissive in a way that's detrimental to them, just the way that they interact as their culture. Okay, yeah. I get it.
Ma'am, let's okay, so let's wrap this up and go, because after we answer your last questions with the last 4 men, we're gonna end this live stream. Let's go right here to Will. Do you have something you want to say to her? Oh, you're on mute. There you go.
Thanks, bro. So I'm coming in this space as an outsider, so I can't really speak for them. But what I can say is, it's not just for women to go overseas. It's also purchasing power. Money stretches far in those countries. So there's more empowerment, not just with Black men, but just men in general who are getting their passports and permanently relocating as well. I'm going to say something that's a little messed up, but I do see that the Black community, not the immigrants coming in, they are starting to see something where after the Civil Rights Act, it seems that the family dynamic has completely inverted to where the single motherhood went from 20-something% to now being over 70%. I think it's around the 70% range. I don't have the exact numbers, but it's around there. And one of the reasons that it's happened and what they're seeing is that they're noticing that the queens are selling out their Black kings for the white emperor. And they're tired of being treated by the woman king.
Can I just jump in here? And then I know you guys are going to kick me in a minute. I understand what you guys are talking. I didn't know that they were talking about relocating. I thought they just meant, we need as many as we can here to help with all that we have going on. I just want to respond to what you're saying a little bit, because when we talk about issues in the Black community, we are an island that is constantly under attack. Our education, our housing, there's a lot that leads to the degradation of the Black family. And so we don't want to talk about that lightly as if it's an issue that we constructed and we somehow got to this place because, we're just, whatever. This is a societal issue within our community because we've been deluged with all kinds of stuff. And when I mean we still have an issue with education where we have schools that are I homeschool my children. We have issues with the quality of books. My brothers went to school in LA. They didn't have school books for years. So we don't want to put the familial issues we have in our community in a bucket from, just kind of, simplify it to, civil rights. What we're talking about, these men are talking about the way that the women have kind of, the style that everyone has fallen into that they do not want to be bothered with. They do not trust, and they want to stand strong and comfortably. And this brother attested to, I've done my best to be a good man. No matter what I do, there's still combativeness. There's still aggressiveness. And, I've allowed her to communicate. I've allowed done all of this. And I'm just tired. And I just want a woman to just, love me and be for me. That's it. I get it. I just was worried. I just thought maybe y'all could apply a different approach. But now that I see, this is not about an approach. This is you guys really like, look, I want to be firm. Because it's not just the woman, it's her friends, her family, right? So even if you got a woman like that, you still have all that other external stuff that interferes. So I get y'all. So on that note, God bless. And you have my blessings. Do what you need to do, but consider not leaving the Black community here altogether just because you want to have a different dynamic. I mean, be careful when you consider that part, right? That's all I'm saying. Don't it's still a lot going on. We can't afford to be losing folks.
Jumbi Ray, before you go, because it seems like you're trying to wrap it up. Jumbi right here has a question. Jumbe Travels, he has a question he wants to ask you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just briefly, just real quick, and then I'll get off. I just want to say that I think every Black man should have a passport and should be traveling to wherever the hell they want to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Your peace of mind is a big thing.
Absolutely.
For me personally, I go to Eastern Europe a lot. I've been to Poland, Czech Republic, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. I'm going next month. I was in Ukraine twice last year before the invasion. It was amazing. And it's great to just detox from America, detox from American society, because you have no idea the effect that it has on you. And then when you get back, as Auston has pointed out many times on his channel, you get back, you can see and feel the flaws of America. Like it becomes more amplified when you get back. right? And that's just what it is. So for your own, black men, we're dying early for some reason in America. We're like dying at 50 in our mid 50s. There's all kind of stress and hypertension and bad health and all this crap. So do what you need to do to keep your peace of mind. And this is not a black thing. There's tons. I've been to Paris. I've been to like London. There's a bunch of black people in Paris. There's like Africans all over the place in Paris. So we're everywhere. It's not a black and white thing, right? It's
That's a
just
Western
about.
country.
Say again.
That is a Western country. I would not
No,
advise.
yeah. I mean, Paris is whatever, but yeah, I mean, and then honestly, when you go to these other countries, it's night and day in terms of like the women, right? It's just their whole demeanor, the character, the way they talk, the way they dress. It's completely different. So there's no comparison when you're talking about like the feminine aspects. Like America just can't compare to it. And then once these brothers have started to travel, you're not gonna get them to not travel. And that's why the men who are criticizing, the guys who are considered passport bros, it's obvious that they don't travel, because if they did travel, they wouldn't have those opinions. So that's all I really have to say.
Let's let the domestic foreigner right here. You have a question next.
Well, I just wanted to address something that the young lady was saying. Ultimately, in terms of giving women here more of a chance, I think that time is past, unfortunately. I live in an immigrant community, and no matter how poor they are or how little education they have, they understand one basic concept: united, we stand; divided, we fall. It has nothing to do with education. It's survival. And if you can't understand that here, it's too late and we're gone. Unfortunately. And I think the Art of Will was being actually really kind in the statement that he made in terms of the situation here, particularly amongst African Americans. It is once you leave and you see Black people from other communities, even when they're living abroad in the West, they all follow that rule. United we stand, divided we fall. And they do not do that here. So if you can't grasp that basic concept, you're done. You're finished. And that's what I had to say. So please proceed.
Let's let True Table right here. And then after that we'll do Chad, and then we'll log off.
I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Ma'am, I would definitely encourage you to, continue to, join panels like this and just get educated. I think a lot of brothers haven't talked about it, but I think most of us, me in particular, we're just tired of competing with our women. One of the neutralizers that most men are experiencing, in my opinion, is that the mere fact that women now are in a position to earn, excel in their careers, which I believe any competent man applauds. But like I mentioned moments ago, I've traveled 22 countries to date. I've dated doctors, I've dated dignitaries, I've dated women who were highly educated women, gorgeous women, but you did not meet her career. You met her as an individual. She didn't treat you like an insubordinate, because now I have to prove how masculine I am in order to continue to get your attention or your femininity. So I just believe that, to answer your question, you're saying what is going on, I think that particularly in our community, our women traded monetary gain for masculine leadership, to keep it plainly. And that just continues to be the thing. So it's going to be an ongoing issue until there is a concession to where women do believe and feel that there is a necessity for men, that past what we can provide monetarily, that we're absolutely necessary for the structure of the families, for the structure of society, and all things moving forward. That's my take on it, and I won't hold up the panel. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let's go ahead. Chad.
What's going on, man? I'm here in Colombia right now. We about to go eat. Going out on a little date with a whole bunch of girls or whatever. Yeah, I'm in Cartagena. We're headed to Medellin tomorrow. But basically, I just had a few points, man. Sorry, I forgot your name. Basically, I haven't been I'm not a newbie to the whole passport game. I've been traveling for a little while, but I see a lot of young dudes or new dudes are hopping on it, especially like new guys that are like newly divorced or having issues dating here in America. So a few points. The men are basically doing the same thing women are doing nowadays. Women are looking out for themselves, so the men are getting their passports to go look out for themselves in another country. Or if not, I'm not saying I particularly agree with it, but they're going to other countries to find a wife and might or might not bring her back here, which I don't really advise. So when I came here on Saturday, there's about 4 or 5 planes that all came in at one time. There's a bunch of black people, which I was really shocked by because I've been coming to Cartagena for years, and I've seen a lot of couples, especially like black couples or whatever, and a lot of women were overweight. Like they look nothing like the women here, pretty much. And there's a lot of guys, single guys, coming on the plane. I'm like, these women are going to be totally shocked, especially a lot of women going on girls trips too. So few of the points are men are visual. We're really into fitness. A woman that's feminine, especially the women overseas. In a lot of these countries, a woman works 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, come home, pay some of the bill, and don't complain at all. Women here in America barely work 4 or 5 hours, maybe less than 30 hours a week, and complain about she's ready for somebody to take care of her or she hates work and so on and so forth. When really, men work to take care of their family, so women didn't have to, where they can stay home and not endure most of those pressures. Especially it's not necessarily just the black community, but it's highlighted. But the women are hard to get along with, man. They're very masculine. Deal with that. And then the women overseas are really all about family, which America is not about. Everything in America is about independence now, and that's driving up tax revenue for the government. So basically one thing is I've always heard is a smart man learns from his own mistake, a wise man learns from somebody else's mistake. So what a lot of brothers are doing is getting their passports and learning from the other guys that are failing here and going overseas and looking at their best option. And I'm pretty sure if you had a son, you want your son to have the best option. And then the last thing is the definition of insanity is continually do the same thing over and over and over and expecting to get a different result. So the guys are getting their passports, going somewhere else to try to find a better life for themselves.
So let me read these super chats and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. And if you have anything else to say, man, we'll let you speak. Cut the bullshit though. What is she cooking for Thanksgiving? She's not a man dealing with women, which is why she doesn't see it. She's oblivious to a man's experience in 2022. And this is a lot of women need to read that super chat because they don't know what they're talking about. Stop the lying. American women stay married to the government. We are not fighting you in the government for our kids. We have worked for Passport Bros. We are out. Western women have shot themselves in the foot. Black Western women have shot themselves in both feet. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what he's saying. Women in the U.S. are raised to be independent of men. Women overseas are raised to be wives. Absolutely. This is the fundamental difference. So what do Claire, how do you say that? Huxtable.
Huxtable.
Huxtable. That's what I was thinking. Huxtable suggests that black men do about these American women, except just move on. 67 million. Okay, here's the bullshit. 67 million mothers in Brazil. 20 of them are single mothers. Passport Bros have a positive message, but this false advertisement kills me. I would rather date a single mother from Brazil than the United States. Trust me. Men just want to be appreciated. Women are appreciated for the bare minimum, especially having a child out of wedlock. Absolutely. That is it. If anybody has any well, let me start with her. If you or anybody else started with you has any quick final words, let's say it. Let me unmute you. Go ahead.
So everyone should travel. Everyone, right? That's just we're free. We can move about as we want. The only thing I would bring up to you guys as you go on your endeavors and you get out there, if you're going to be pioneers, be true pioneers. Make sure you continue to politic at home. Make sure your networks are strong. Set up foundations that we can have in use for us, and don't just put the whole community behind as you go and relocate or whatever it is you're doing. Nobody with any logic is going to be mad at you, right? That would be impossible. That's stupid, right? So I would wish you well, and just think it through, do the right thing, take advantage of whatever opportunities you come across, set up strong networks, let it be fruitful. Right now it's a little selfish and it's just for you, but make it about more than just
Don't
you.
say that. Don't throw that
No,
slug.
I don't mean so. I'm just saying the decision to go is for yourself because it's for yourself. I'm saying, like you have
the
this
way
group
that was
here.
a slug.
Okay.
You know what you did. You put that in a certain type of way. That was a slug.
No, I'm not mad at y'all. I'm not. Y'all black men are beautiful. Y'all beautiful. I just wanted to make sure that y'all feel this way about women as you go. We're beautiful too. We have issues. Okay, so just go on, but don't let it be rooted in anger or just whatever's not for you now, it's not for you. But don't just shuck off and leave all the issues that we're living under that created these circumstances. Is all I'm saying.
So come back to
But
the book.
y'all. Bye. I don't know how to get. Do I just leave?
All right, thank you.
Okay.
So basically, according to her, she just said, "Come back to the bullshit." Is basically how she ended that off. That's basically what she said at the end. We still got Chanel. She was still watching the whole time. She didn't go anywhere. She just
awesome.
that first lady got on there. She had to leave.
So I have a question here for the fellas on the panel. I don't know if you're trying to wrap up, Austin.
Go ahead.
Okay. So is it just me, or am I the only person that sees the correlation between your beliefs and values in life and where that falls on the political spectrum, where you live geographically, if you're in an inner city or if you're from rural America, and the correlation between, how feminist movement to more conservative suburb church God-fearing women, like, am I the only person that sees the bigger picture?
Generally, that's the case. So yeah,
because I'm confused how the correlation there isn't being seen by between her and then some individuals.
It's just some people are oblivious. You know what I'm saying? Like they live in their little bubble, and that's where
because they believe that they don't fall anywhere in the spectrum because they don't participate in government, but there is a correlation even by the people that you are around by proxy and that you share values with.
Yeah, I mean, just your basic values. You're gonna have them regardless of what you think. You're gonna always skew one way or the other. There's really no way for you to just sit there and say, "Well, I'm not part of it." You're gonna one way or another. You're gonna make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna lean this way. You're gonna lean that way. You really don't
I feel
have.
like a lot of people aren't aware of that because they don't participate politically and don't see the correlation. They're just not at that level of awareness that they don't realize because they live in a city, because they are around people who are more liberal and have more liberal beliefs, that their beliefs and their values around family and all of those things are being shaped and molded by others and their surroundings by proxy.
Yeah, it's like I live in LA, and this LA is like a bubble. Like I go to this yoga class, right? And I was coming out the yoga class, and it was these two dudes talking to each other, and I overheard them talk, and I was just like, this is so LA, right? This shows you how liberal LA and what the mindset is. But anytime you got two dudes sitting there talking to each other about how bad misogyny is, they keep talking about, oh, this is misogynistic. I'm like, they don't shut up about misogynistic. But I'm sitting there just laughing to myself. I'm like, only in this bubble, in this society, do they think like, okay, this is cool. But they sound so ridiculous. Like it sounded like two chicks talking about misogyny. I'm like, but you just deal with it because this is the environment that I'm in. So I'm surrounded by this mindset.
Right.
Let's read these last three super chats and then wrap it up. We we have any solid arguments today? I mean, Chanel, she didn't really give us. She didn't agree. She didn't disagree enough. The other woman was a. I don't want to say anything too bad about her because she seemed a little off.
It was a
Something was
9.
wrong with her. And the last lady, I didn't really get her point because she was using so many fucking words. I just couldn't. I kept getting lost on what she was really disagreeing on. I was like, shit, shorten that shit. She still don't understand. We're no longer listening to them. No, please. Western black women don't follow BMG TLW. Cancer is contagious. That is, he said that lady spewed nothing but lies. Yeah. I think that's it for today. So we got the soundboard coming in the mail tomorrow. So it'll be a little bit funnier next time. We'll be back. He said a little off. Yeah, she was off for sure. Something was wrong. Yeah, we'll be back. Let's do probably tomorrow or Thursday. I'm doing some more interviews in the mall with another YouTuber tomorrow, so we'll have some more foolish videos coming up. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all coming through.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
A little exhausted from all those women today.
Could I say something on that? So
Yeah.
what I notice is that every time you're going to get women on the panel, it's going to be one side or the other. It's either going to be one extreme or the other. It's either going to be like so much social construct to where they're going to answer questions to what you want to hear, or it's going to be sign language. That's what I noticed. I don't think you're going to get a middle ground. And I heard a lot about hip hop and all that. I don't think it's really hip hop. I think it's the R&B generation. And I think I told this to Andre. It's the Generation X. They say it's the forgotten generation, right? You heard that? You heard that Generation X is the forgotten generation. You know why it's called the forgotten generation? Because we forgot that was a generation of simps. All these Raphael Sadiq motherfuckers. I'm telling you, man. Hip hop was the result of the angst from that, not from that perspective. But it's
it
also
all
more,
progresses and rolls one into another. But I do think that there's something to be said about progressivism and liberalism and the rise of it and how it progressed over time and the laws that came into place. We can't just say it's one thing or another. It's all of the developments that happen in society, in government, in our laws, in our belief systems, in our values, getting away from family, enabling women to enter the workforce. All of those things combined culminated in this soup of shit that we have to deal with now. And I think we tend to want to isolate it to be one thing or another, but really, the history of it all matters. The values that we all take because of it matters.
And would you say that Woodstock 99 was the culmination of the anger and all of that because of the constant simping and all this other stuff that just got lumped into a bunch into a spaghetti, and it just turned into crap towards when we started to hit 2K, Y2K?
Absolutely. And even long before that, we would have to go back, post World War II and everything that happened since then and why the generation that